with IXL, not
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! We need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
All right, sorry, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Okay, what's up? I was going to let it run one more time, but we're not going to do that because it's not looping for some reason. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I feel off today. I don't know what we're talking about today. There's not a whole lot of stuff. So I just grabbed some stories. We're going to fact check this claim that Trump has the first budget surplus since 2009 because he said it. And then everybody, when I try to find information on it, all the mainstream media is saying debunked, false, not true, fact check. So we're going to fact check it. We're going to see where he's getting that idea from. But there is a budget surplus regardless. Why are you talking about my state? Montana, there was a shooting at a bar or something. I don't know. I'm not even going to focus on it too much. More about going to look at this New York one cuz this guy was white. It's an old story by now cuz this New York shooting was breaking news last week on Monday. But I didn't have time to incorporate it into the show. So, dude, these stickies are not sticking. My cord keeps coming down. Yeah, it was breaking news last week, so we've had a week to sit on it. But yeah, they said he's a white guy. That's so funny. We're more going to look at that, but there was a Montana shooting. I think there was a Reno shooting. It's summertime. This happens every summer. People get crazy. They've been cooped up inside. They got cabin fever. They've been stuck inside for a long time. Then they get a chance. They get a chance to go outside and it gets warm. Sun's out, guns out. And they, yeah, this always happens every summer. This is the news we get all summer. But there was one, yeah, we'll look at this one in Montana. I don't know anything about it yet. Then fact check this budget surplus thing. And then we're going to look at all the starving children in Gaza. They've been putting out these like Sarah McLachlan style videos, like in the arms of an angel. So we're gonna look at the starving children in Gaza and the rebuttals to this argument that what we're gonna see what we think. Is Israel starving all these children, or is Hamas stealing the rations? Are terrorists stealing the rations? Is it a little of both? Or are kids just skinny over there? We're Americans. We're used to seeing fat babies. They got skinny babies. I don't know. We're gonna, I'm gonna try to get you to send your $5.38. That's less than a cup of coffee to save a life in Gaza today. Send it to my Cashapp, $5.38 a month. You can save a starving Floridian's life. And I don't even have like a final segment. Somebody won the Utah treasure hunt. I'm pissed. Again, it was not where I was looking. Was not. I didn't even. I'd be really, really pissed if I had the trail marked in my phone and I was like, this is it, boys. We're going. And then like I didn't go. And then the next day somebody won, then I would be pissed. But I almost went on like 3 different hikes for nothing. So I guess it's all right that somebody won, but damn. My puzzle solving skills aren't all there. I think it's because I don't know enough Utah history and trailage. Some of these people have been here their whole lives. They know the history of the state and they know all the trailage. They've been on all the trails. I guess they said the clue, and this is what they always say. They say the clue to solving it, they always figure it out with like 2 clues. 2 clues, and then they figure it out. So that's why I always like, if there's something that's giving me hint. But the problem is, if you find one that's giving you like, oh, I'm getting something out of these 2. For me, it was the jewel reference and the trails where, what'd they say, where young lions run or something like that. So I was like, Payson, Utah, jewels from Payson. We have 2 schools in Payson that have lions as their mascot. It's got to be in Payson. So I'm looking all around Payson, and it's in Sandy. What the? So We did not get the $25,000 for the Utah treasure hunt. Wah, 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 wah. Don't I have that? All right. So I don't have a last segment. So for the last hour, I don't know. Maybe I'll go through my folder of interesting stuff to talk about in the future folder. See what's in there. But let's look at this New York shooting. I don't know if I guess there's been some updates recently that he had mental illnesses. Shocker. I don't even they always say that like it's groundbreaking. We've discovered the shooter had a mental illness. They always that's a big headline. He struggled with CTE. Well, he got punched in the head a few too many times as a kid. Who doesn't struggle with CTE? I've been hit in the head a lot of times. Oh my goodness, he had mental illness. So does everybody else in America. All right. Let's see here. Downtown Midtown Manhattan shooting. Is this Michael Strahan? Peter, Chris, Alex Stone, Caitlin Morris. I don't know. Let's watch some ABC. ABC. All right. We're talking about this Manhattan shooting.
Aaron Katersky with the latest on what officials are learning about the shooter, Aaron, in the investigation into a possible motive. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael. 27-year-old Shane Tamora
Guy's creepy looking.
was found with a note that may help explain a possible motive. He lived here.
He found a note. They got a note. Is it a manifesto?
In Las Vegas. We're about 20 minutes from the Strip, and you can see police have been out here all night. They're still here this morning. The NYPD said Tamura left Nevada on...
Was he got a damn golden gun? This is the gun of Rambo. He's got a golden gun. Golden AK. What's this?
On Saturday and entered...
It's AR. He got a golden AR.
New York City from New Jersey on Monday, about 2 hours before the shooting. Las Vegas police had issued him a concealed carry.
Possibly a white suspect. So CNN, and this was like what a lot of people were talking about. I don't think they came out with an apology. They retracted the statement. Well, but they, like you said it on the news twice. Possibly white suspect. A possibly white suspect. I don't know. Mr. DeTamoria doesn't look white to me. By the way, it's Men's History Month. This is not a man.
Permit in 2022. Officers here are now tracking down where he sought the M4 rifle. That was
it's not
used
golden.
in the
It just
shooting.
okay. It's not golden. It looked like a golden gun in the picture. It looked like some sort of like COD perk gun. What's up, Elderline?
The NYPD also found a revolver and ammunition in his BMW, along with medication. Police said he did have...
Summertime, the shootings are here. Every week we're gonna talk about 5 of them.
A documented mental health history, and we're learning that police in Las Vegas had 2 calls in recent years associated with Tamura for a person in mental health distress.
He's in mental health distress, and he's possibly a white suspect. He did a shooting, probably a white guy, is what they're saying.
In his pocket, the NYPD found what sources described as a rambling 3-page handwritten note that claimed he suffered from traumatic brain injury and made reference.
He left his brain to science so that they could study his brain for CTE. Nobody care about your brain.
To the NFL, which is headquartered at 345 Park Avenue. Growing up in Los Angeles, Tamura did play high school football, but there's no evidence he actually had CTE.
No, you just retarded.
And it's not clear still why he decided to drive his car cross country and target that building. But that note is certainly a key to the investigation, Rebecca.
A desperate search for answers. Okay, Aaron, thank you.
Let's bring in Chief Investigative Correspondent.
Plus, when you got people on TikTok, some girl on TikTok did a video where she's like, listen, guys, you just got to take care of Trump. Just handle the situation. You know what I'm saying? Just take the shot, basically. And you'll get all sorts of fan mail in prison. You'll be a hero. Ladies will love you. Like, you're still not going to get laid because you're going to be in prison. You might get laid by Bubba, but you ain't going to get laid by none of these girls. I mean, at least you get some attention. Won't be much different than your life now. But that's crazy. And it's some girl in like Australia telling incels on TikTok to take care of Trump so that they can have a huge fan base. And they wonder why and then they see Luigi Mangione get celebrated. So now all these guys who are kind of halfway retarded are just like, oh, I'm going to take out. I have a target. I have grievances. This is how we petition the government and protest nowadays. We go shoot people. You missed the feminist Christian reaction stream in your Discord. You missed the feminist Christian reaction stream in your Discord. Marshall actually made some sense during it. Feminist Christian reaction to what? Like, you guys were watching a video together in my Discord, or there was a feminist Christian reacting to what happened? I missed it. What happened? Like, is it a video? What's she reacting to? Who is the feminist Christian? Or are we just talking about feminist Christians in general? What's up, Tommy? Tommy. Okay, so police say they identified the man who entered a Manhattan office building wearing body armor and opened fire, killing 4 people. So apparently he was like trying to get to the 33rd floor, but the elevator didn't work because he killed the security guard, which has to activate the elevator. And he couldn't get to the floor he wanted to go to. He wanted to go to like the NFL headquarters because he's mad at football for having CTE. Not a very logical reason there, but yeah, we watched a feminist talk about premarital sex from a Christian point of view. Was she saying that you should have premarital sex? Well, you got it. What if they have a micro penis? What if you're going to have an unfulfilling sex life for the next 40 years? You need to know these things before you go into the marriage. You need to have 87 bodies to make sure that you're going to have a sexually compatible partner once you get married. Something like that. Yeah, figures. Yeah. So they called this dude White, the gunman who killed 4 people before taking his own life in New York City gunman sought help for medical issues before shooting his CTE. And they said, no, you don't have CTE, dude. You're just dumb. And he got pissed. It's football's fault. I'm taking out the NFL. I have a mission in life. What is wrong with people? What is the world coming to? Let's see this. This is from ESPN. Espen.
Outside 345. A developing story. A shooting happened outside 345 Park Avenue in Midtown Manhattan yesterday. 4 people, including an off-duty New York City police officer, were killed. Another person critically wounded. Horrible violence at that building that houses the National Football League.
It's not every day an ESPN reporter has to report on a shooting. They're like, damn, I thought we were going to talk about football scores today.
It has since been determined that the shooter was targeting the NFL. And
what's up, William?
Is in Manhattan, outside of the league office. Jeff, what more can you tell us?
I am, Laura, and if you look over my right shoulder, you can see a window that did shatter due to a bullet hitting it, and it's a stark reminder of what happened less than 24 hours here at the league headquarters. I've spoken to a number of NFL employees since this occurred, and quite frankly, they are shaken by what did occur. One person told me that there was, at 6:30 when the gunman did enter the lobby, there was still, by their estimations, 30, maybe 40% of the league office still occupied at that hour. We're a week away from the first preseason game, so the league office is in full motion right now. People watching out of their window, hearing the gunshots in the lobby, and watching as police then entered to try to secure the location. A scary situation for them. They were alerted on their phones to secure the stay in place, put their phones on silent. A lot of frightened people, quite frankly. Now, I should also point out that one league employee was shot, and he is in stable condition. He was transported to a nearby hospital. He is doing okay at this moment. But again, the NFL family is definitely shaken by what occurred.
Huh. Tamura began having headaches while he was playing high school football in Southern California, the source said, and they continued into adulthood. Tamura took acetaminophen or ibuprofen. So Advil and Tylenol, the source said, but soon after moving to Las Vegas in 2019, searched for more help. A lot of lights in Vegas. Not a good place to go if you're having headaches. Probably don't move to Vegas. Prescribed various medications, try to find groupings that could offer relief. So then they started experimenting on his brain with pills. As it got worse and worse, the source said, it was like, okay, I have to get doctor's help now. 4 people, including an off-duty New York police officer, were killed in the shooting. NFL employee was seriously injured. Source close to the family told ESPN that Tamura's immediate family is grieving, especially for the innocent lives that are lost. He just blasted himself in the chest. He didn't, no good guy with a gun situation here, but a gun still ended the situation. One way or the other, the gun's going to stop the gun. Rock beats rock. In the week after the shooting, while funerals were being held in New York for the victims and law enforcement authorities in Las Vegas were executing search warrants, details emerged about Tamura, his years playing football at 2 Los Angeles area high schools, his history with mental health, his time with a private security firm working a surveillance job. Security guards. Arm all the security guards. Working surveillance job in Las Vegas casino. Not good for your headaches. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, dong, dong, bar. Great for your headaches. Great job if you have chronic headaches. Become a security guard on a slot machine floor. That's excellent idea. Working as a blah, blah, blah. He began playing tackle football at age 6 and continued through high school. I know a lot of guys that played football in high school. They are not mass pew-pewing people. I don't think this is a common progression of what happens when you play pee-wee. This is not the next logical step. Investigators said they believe Tamura was... Now that CTE is a thing, everybody going to have CTE all of a sudden too? Hey... Membership. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. Tamura lived in Nevada. He had been treated for depression. Oh, was he sad? And twice been held for involuntarily for mental health reasons. Person experiencing mental health crisis can be held and evaluated at a hospital or crisis center for up to 72 hours if they are likely a danger to themselves or others. Baker acted. Yep. In Minnesota, they don't put you in a drunk tank if you're drunk in public. They put you in like a crazy house for 3 days. I woke up in one of those once. That was interesting. It was pretty chill, actually. But I woke up naked in like a hospital bed in a back room with a bunch of other hospital beds. But it wasn't a hospital. It was like a 72-hour mental illness hold place. And my pants were off. I was like, what the hell? I was drunk. I got drunk. Yeah, that was bad. But they gave you cigarettes. They had like an indoor smoking room because you couldn't go outside. but you could go into an indoor smoking room where there was no roof, so it was actually outdoor, indoor. It was inside of the place. Then you'd walk through a door and there'd be no roof, so now you're outside, and then they'd give you cigarettes. But only like, I think you could get like 8 a day or something. Anyway, I had mental illness issues. Tamura would sometimes go to work on an overnight shift in surveillance at the Horseshoe Casino and Hotel in Las Vegas and return home to sleep, placing an ice pack on his forehead because of his headaches. The injections in his head at times reduced injections in his head, but it persisted. Doctors sometimes treat severe headaches with nerve blocks, injecting steroids and pain medicine near the base of the skull. The source said the hope was that the medical research on Tamura's brain would show what he suffered from and help to find answers. Once in the lobby of the 44-story skyscraper, Tamura shot Didaru Islam, the off-duty police officer, and a woman fleeing for cover. He shot a security guard and another man in the lobby before taking the elevator. Investigators said they believed he was trying to reach the NFL offices, but he arrived on the 33rd floor. Okay, so I had that backwards. He was trying to get to one floor, but he couldn't because the security, it could only go to certain floors without the security guard's key card, and he killed the security guard. He didn't even get his key card. Dude's never played a video game in his life. Mandatory psych evaluation in Minnesota. No longer smoking sections. Oh, dang. Dang. No smoking room in the Minnesota crazy house anymore. Dang. Well, that sucks. It sucks for them. Elijah McCormick, who described Tamura as a childhood best friend, said he wished he would have been able to speak with Tamura before he did anything. The two men met when they were 8 years old and played football. I just would have told him to tell me what's on his mind. Well, I just want to kill people all the time. What are you going to do? Well, don't do it. Don't do it, buddy. What are you going to tell him? Hopefully I could figure out the ish together with him. 5 former teammates who spoke with ESPN all played together at Golden Valley. Blah, blah, blah. He was a goofball, and another remembered his rumbling staccato laugh, and they would dash away after good-natured prank. All right, that's all nice. That's nice. New details highlight harrowing minutes inside Manhattan office building as mass shooting unfolded. He walked in there like he was a video game character, like he was playing Grand Theft Auto. Real life Grand Theft Auto. He just walks in there with a suit and the gun and just crazy. Crazy. Well, RIP the victims. Let me see. Let's see these minutes. Is this a timeline? It's like a written timeline. I like graphs. Just give me a graph with a timeline on it. To all MOS, subject, Umos shot, location, incident details. The above picture perpetrator is wanted in regard to a Umos shooting. The perpetrator is armed with a long rifle. Possibly a white man. Possibly a white man. During evening rush hour in New York City on Monday, a man calmly walked into a park office building lobby and killed a police officer, then opened fire on other innocent strangers. Within a minute, he had disappeared into a labyrinth of elevator banks and hallways, armed and loose, somewhere in the 44-story building. The day's violence become the deadliest mass shooting in New York City since 2000. That's because they don't count gang violence as mass shootings. The gunman shot and killed 4 people and wounded another before killing himself, police said. You don't want to count the mass shootings. You don't want to count gang violence as mass shootings, because then the mass shooting stats look really racist. It's okay if the mass shooting stats say that it's all white men, so that the media comes out and says it's probably a white guy. Because if they gave you the real stats, people would be like, that's racist. Are they saying black people do most of the mass shootings? Yeah. Like 14-year-old kids doing gang shootings. Yeah. But those don't count. As calls flooded in, the NYPD's electronic log system captured horror happening in real time inside the Park Avenue skyscraper. The shorthand notes obtained. I want to know what his 3-page note said. Probably a bunch of nothing. Additional calls are logged. 7 to 8 shots heard. Location is NFL headquarters. Shooter in building. Another female caller reported her husband telling her he's in a locked room. From precinct officers to specialized commands, swarms of law enforcement teams raced to the scene. NYPD's emergency service unit, which operates as a SWAT team, entered the building and began a systematic search for the gunman. He was somewhere inside. At the same time, officers from the Strategic Response Command, providing an additional long weapons team, set up a perimeter and established the snipers, known as a warm zone, to get medical personnel in and a wounded victim out while the search for the gunman continued. Law enforcement officially said. Team secured the area. Outside, detectives made their way into this skyscraper and examined surveillance video. They took a screen grab of the gunman using technology developed by NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Blasted the image to the officer's department-issued phones. So, I don't think there's other than the fact that he was mentally ill, he had headaches sometimes. So he's mentally ill. Not a lot of new details come out about this, but I don't have the clip of them saying he was probably white. I could have got it for you, but I didn't. 2 days before the shooting, a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado recorded Tamura's car with Nevada license plates passing through at 1:06 p.m. Sunday, Tamura did not show up for his surveillance job as part of the security team at the Horseshoe Casino in Las Vegas. He was miles away. He's eastbound on Interstate 80, Nebraska, New Jersey. So he just drove he drove from Vegas to New York. Just thinking about this the whole time. That's wild. And who is the victim, or who is the shooter? We already know about him. He was a football player guy in high school. He played football in high school. He didn't get his dream. He ended up as a security guard in a casino having really bad headaches. And so he decided he's going to try to end the NFL, basically. That's the motive. That's the modus operandi here. Okay. Let's go to this Montana one. We got a shooter on the loose. Manhunt going on. We got a manhunt going on for a guy who shot up a bar in Montana. Where is it? Billings or Bozeman? I'm going to say Billings. A manhunt for Michael Paul Brown has been underway since Friday morning when 4 people were shot and killed in the town of Anaconda. I don't know where that is. I've never been to Anaconda, Montana. I've been to Billings and Bozeman. Where's this near, Abe?
Investigators scouring the woods near Anaconda, Montana for Michael Paul Brown, a 45-year-old suspected killer, after authorities say he opened fire inside a bar Friday morning.
This is an unstable individual.
How does this guy go into a bar with probably like 6 people in it? Takes out like 4 people. The other guy walks into a building, 44-story building in New York, and only hits 4 people. EOD, Michael Brown strikes again. Michael Brown. Who's Michael Brown? Oh, this guy? A manhunt for Michael. Wait, he did he strike again? Is there an update on this? I haven't seen the. Let me look at breaking news today. Or are you just kidding? Breaking news. I don't know what happened while I was sleeping. Wildfire smoke is like smoking half a pack a day. Well, stop freaking catching the forest on fire with the freaking lasers. Why were U.S. job numbers, which riled Trump to revise, down by so much? Schwarzenegger ready to fight Newsom on redistricting. I don't see any updates on this story.
Who walked in and murdered 4 people in cold blood for no reason whatsoever.
Officials say this photo showing Brown
Damn.
without a shirt or pants.
Crack much? Put the pipe down, Michael Brown. Damn.
Captured him before he escaped in a stolen pickup. Investigators say he's likely found clothing and is now believed to be on foot. An Army spokesman tells NBC News Brown served from 2001 through 2005 and was deployed to Iraq, adding he served in the Montana National Guard until 2009.
They got him. They MK Ultra this guy.
We have to believe he is still armed. We don't know that he is for sure, but we certainly don't know that he isn't. This is a person who had access to firearms. Obviously, he's had training with firearms.
As the search intensifies, Lacey Grosvold is keeping her 9-year-old daughter close.
We all have to be prepared. You think, well,
why were you in the bar while your daughter was at home, Lacey?
Well, what would happen if he came up the driveway or if he tried to get into my house? I mean, every single person in this community has to think about those things.
Over the weekend, authorities...
So beautiful out there. Big sky country. Big sky country.
Identified the 4 victims.
Damn. Sorry. Never mind.
The family of Nancy Loretta Kelly sharing she recently retired.
She just liked people. She was definitely a people person.
And tonight, the U.S. Marshals say they're now offering $10,000 for any information leading to Brown's arrest.
Yo, Utah treasure hunt. We failed. Let's find Michael Brown next, boys. Abe, let's get him. I'll pinpoint his location. You're in Montana. You apprehend him. We'll split the 10K.
Investigators adding that his motive still remains unclear. Tom?
Is this? Hey, Nikki.
His motive, he's just a crazy guy. They're always just crazy guys. It's always so interesting, like, figuring out these people's motives, because usually there's not one. They're just crazy. It's mental illness. Amid an ongoing manhunt, Montana authorities warned Sunday that Michael Paul Brown, the suspect accused of killing 4 people in a Montana bar Friday morning, could return to the town of Anaconda where the shooting occurred. All right, well, there's our first clue of where to find him. We got to go to Anaconda. There's not much population density, good for the nerves. I mean, I can punish. Well, don't punish him too bad. We need the reward, Abe. We need the 10 grand. Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen said at a news briefing Sunday afternoon that the suspect was an unstable individual who walked in and murdered 4 people in cold blood for no reason whatsoever. So there absolutely is concern for the public. Well, that's not a good way to calm down the public. Knudsen said Brown is believed to be an armed and extremely dangerous individual. A $7,500 reward is being offered to anyone. What they said $10,000 in the article. False advertising. Knudsen also identified the 4 victims for the shooting morning as bartender Nancy Loretta Kelly, 64, and 3 patrons, Daniel Edwin Bailey, David Allen Leach, and Tony Wayne Palm. All the victims were from Anaconda. Yeah, I'm sure it's not like a tourist spot. Anaconda, don't want none. Ugh. Kelly's daughter, Kristen Kelly, said her mother was a recently retired oncology nurse. Nurse? She worked as a nurse from around 30 years, got a part-time job as a bartender. Oh, that's why she was at the bar at night. Okay. It kept her a little bit social, just seeing people. First heard of the shooting in her mother's workplace through a text from a friend. I called her and I didn't get an answer. That's sad. We didn't even lock our cars outside, or the house. I mean, I wouldn't say it's dangerous here at all, but when people don't receive services, oh, there it is. We need more mental health services in the mountain city of Anaconda, Montana. We need more social services. That's the problem. Or you blame the guns. Look at this guy. You don't blame the fact that he's probably a crackhead. Guarantee you this guy smokes some meth. No, I don't know that. That's conjecture. Law enforcement briefly pursued Brown in that vehicle, but pulled back when they realized he was most likely armed, Knudsen said. So they just let him go? Brown was not in the vehicle when law enforcement finally got to it. Knutson did not rule out that Brown may have killed himself, but said authorities are acting under the assumption that he is alive, well armed, and extremely dangerous. So I think the manhunt is still going.
Hunt is underway for a gunman who went on a shooting spree, killing at least 4. The FBI now assisting in the search for 45-year-old Michael Paul Brown. You see him here on your screen. He's an Army veteran who allegedly opened fire at a bar yesterday in the town of Anaconda. He's considered armed and dangerous. Scott Suito is a former official with the FBI and ATF. Joining us now, Scott. This is a frightening story from Montana. Walk us through what you think law enforcement is doing now, considering he's not only armed and dangerous, but as a former Army sergeant that served time nearly a year in Iraq in 2004.
Served time in Iraq. Almost sounds like they're talking about prison.
2005. That means he was probably familiar with guns and violence and now poses this threat.
You're muted.
From spending a week in Montana with retired law enforcement friends. And there are a lot of challenges out there. People don't realize that Montana has a size close to California, so it's an enormous state, and it's very, very lightly populated. So you have this guy who's very familiar with the state. He's got combat.
Montana's population is the size of California's population? No way. How? What did he just say? Montana population. 1.1 million. What did he do? Montana's population is 1.4 million or 1.1 million. California's population is 39.4 million. Did he just say Montana? Most people would be surprised to know that Montana has the same population as California. I would be surprised to know that because it's not even close to true. Did I misunderstand that guy?
Bad experience, obviously has access, and it's very, very lightly populated as a size close to California. So it's an enormous state.
Oh, its size. Yeah, it's yes. Okay, okay. It's got as much land as California. And its population is 1/40th the size of California. So the same land area with 1/40th of the population, therefore it's sparsely populated. Okay, I was, oh, woo.
And it's very, very lightly populated. So you have this guy who's very familiar with the state. He's got combat experience, obviously has access to firearms in an area that has a lot of hunting culture. So it's quite possible that he's very familiar with the area where this all occurred and has access.
I'm surprised nobody else at that bar had a gun on their hip. Oh, what just happened? Is it going to play an ad again?
Check this out.
Yes. Anyway. All right.
Time merely this threat.
It's an enormous state in an area that has a lot of hunting culture. So where this all occurred and has access to other firearms. So if he makes it out into the woods, he's going to be very difficult to find. So they're going to have to use a lot of technical tools and tricks.
Technical tools.
Like dogs. To find
And
this
dogs.
guy.
What about the digital footprint, Scott? It seems in many of these cases, phones, credit cards may be the only key, but that could be difficult.
Did you see this guy? He ain't got no credit cards. Probably
He's
does.
gone in this remote wooded area.
What's he gonna do with a credit card in the woods?
So typically, when somebody flees, they've got a lot of technology with them. They've got their phones, certainly. They have credit cards. They have a car that can be tracked potentially with license plate readers if it moves around. But they already found his truck. And while he may have a phone with him, a lot of times people dump their phones. I would say one of the good things that law enforcement has going for him is that if this crime happened very suddenly, that it wasn't something that was apparently planned, where he would have had time to stockpile things and prepare himself better.
And Scott, I think that really stands out because.
And what about his credit card reader? He might use his credit card in the middle of the woods in Montana. No.
This happened at 10 a.m.
Dude didn't even have pockets.
You know, the motive is certainly unclear at this point. What do you make of the timing and what the possible motive may be?
You're on mute again. I can't watch this. So, shootings are up. It's summertime. Summertime violence every year. It's typical. Let's go to some Trump stuff. Trump makes a claim that so July we had a budget surplus for all the people that, oh my God, the tariffs, the economy is going to crash and burn. We're all going to die because of Trump. First budget surplus in 20 years. Now, they're fact-checking this. All the fact-checking sites are like, we do have a budget surplus, but it's not the first time in 20 years. Maybe he's possibly referring to the first time that we've had a budget surplus in July, but we've had budget surpluses more recently than 2009 or whenever Trump claimed, is what they're saying. So, from Washington Examiner, this is the claim that Trump's team is making. For the first time since 2005, the federal budget posted a surplus this June, and Uncle Sam has President Donald Trump's tariffs at least partially to thank. The budget surplus of $26 billion is essentially a rounding error relative to our current annual deficit of $1.3 trillion for the first 9 months of fiscal 2025. But the Congressional Budget Office data is still evidence that, on the margins, Trump's cost-cutting measures at the Department of Government Efficiency, his tariffs, and real wage growth unleashed by his deregulatory agenda are indeed trimming the trajectory of our debt growth ever so slightly. All in all, the deficit thus far in fiscal year 2025 is 1% smaller than the first 9 months of fiscal 2024. So we are spending less. The deficit is going down in June a small bit. It's just less spending than we had last year at this time, which is the opposite of what all the liberals want you to think. So this is good news. It's just, you know how Trump is. They're the biggest sandwiches anyone's ever seen in their lives. They were mile-high sandwiches, mile-high burgers. Could you eat a mile-high burger? I ate 4 mile-high burgers. And then they freak out. The burgers were not a mile high, Tom. Reporting live. We have a fact check on Donald Trump. The burgers were not a mile high. So I think that's what's kind of happening here. Let's see from factcheck.org. Factcheck.org. In recent searches and media scrums, President Donald Trump has lauded the federal budget surplus for the month of June, claiming the surplus has not happened in many, many years or decades. To be clear, the U.S. had not recorded a surplus in June since 2016, which is 9 years. But the country has had several surpluses in other months since that time. Furthermore, while Trump has attributed the surplus in June to good management and tariffs, the latter of which have produced record revenue, the tariffs have produced record revenue, the Congressional Budget Office said there would have been a budget deficit last month if the government had not made billions of dollars in payments in May that are usually paid in June. This is what I heard Pisco. Pisco was on a debate panel with Matan, Gavin Newsom, and Alex Stein. Not Gavin. Did I say Gavin Newsom? Gavin McInnes, Matan Evans, and Alex Stein versus Pisco. It should have just been Gavin versus Pisco, but it was just Pisco spurging out for 2 hours, and the other 3 guys cracking jokes. It was on Tim Pool's Culture War show. But they were talking about this surplus. They touched on it a little bit. And Pisco said, well, that's because a bunch of payments got made and blah, 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 and that's why it's up. So he read the factcheck.org. But even the fact check is saying there's some good things. There's, record revenue. The tariffs are working, it seems like. Shocker to anybody who's been paying attention at all. Shocker, the tariffs work. Deregulatory strategies do work to bring in more money for people. Lower energy costs. Shocker. Who could have guessed it? Anybody who's not a dumb liberal. Also, as of June, the U.S. still had an overall budget deficit of more than $1.3 trillion through the first 9 months of fiscal year. According to a Treasury Department data, that's about $64 billion more than the deficit during the same period in fiscal year 2024. Trump first mentioned the roughly $27 billion surplus in June during remarks at the White House Faith Office luncheon on July 14th, and he sounded surprised by the news. And on Friday, OBS Studio disconnected and reconnecting. We back? What happened? That was weird. Are we back? We're back now. We cut out for a minute. I was just reading about Trump at the Faith luncheon being told about this. Wow. This is amazing. Trump told Bissett that he would add the information to his repertoire. And the president has since mentioned the June surplus several times, including in July 15 remarks at the Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit in Pittsburgh. And did you notice that 2 days ago they just announced that they had a budget surplus of $20 billion in this country? He told attendees, referring to the June surplus, which he lowered by about $2 billion. They never saw anything like that. Everyone's saying, wow, where did that? Wow, it's been decades. But it has happened before, and it wasn't as long ago as he suggested. So he was right. There is a budget surplus. It's just not the best that it's been in 20 years. Here's a graph. We like graphs. Okay. So June 2025, black line surplus, red line bad. We have budget surpluses in April of 25, September, but there's a big missing chunk of surpluses here from 2020 to 2022. Now, I'm sure they'd say, well, that's because of COVID. But who was president in that time? The guy who was supposed to cure cancer. We still got cancer. Not a lot of black lines in this chunk of time. Looks like there's a lot of black lines in this 4-year period. Then there's black lines in this 4-year period. Not a lot of black lines in this 4-year period. When's this back here? 8 through 12? Who was president in 8 through 12? Obama? 2008 to 2016, Obama. Then 16 to 20 is Trump. Then 20 to 24 is Biden. Then 24 to 28 is Trump. Yep. Not a lot of black lines in this chunk of time here. Obama. That's Obama's first. And then this is his second. And then this is Trump. And then this is Biden. We see a lot of surpluses when the red side is in the office. Anyway, as we said, Trump has credited this year's June surplus to tariffs and fiscal restraint. New tariffs that Trump put in place this year did help. Shocker. Factcheck.org says the tariffs helped. Last month, the government brought in $26.6 billion in revenue from tariffs or custom duties, a 321% increase from the $6.3 billion collected in the same month last year. June was the second straight month in which revenue from tariffs reached well over $20 billion. And the CPO recently estimated that a number of tariffs implemented earlier this year between January 6th and May 13th could reduce total federal deficits by $2.8 trillion over 10 years. What's up, producer? So tariffs are working. What is this story? Tariffs are working. So just wanted to look at that fact check. There is a budget surplus. We are bringing in more money, 321% more revenue from tariffs than we have ever, probably. But his claim was a little bombastic. His claim was a little hyperbolic. He put a little extra oomph onto his claim, which Trump does. And then they say, oh, add it to his book of lies. He's such a liar. But they won't. But see, the left, they're not going to read the fact check. They're just going to see he said it. Fact check, false. Oh my God, he's a liar. We're doing horrible. The economy's in the dirt. Of course. Of course. All right. We got a lot of memes today, so luckily there's not a whole lot of main stories. Let's move on to this last thing. So I haven't been talking too much about Israel and Gaza. Basically, my stance is I don't know. Am I a Zionist if I say I don't care if Israel has their own nation? Maybe I think Israel probably should have its own nation state. And if they want to put up walls, they can put up walls. I'm cool with that. If they want to fight the sand people in the sand, you know, maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. That's their prerogative. They attack you. You want to attack them back. I get it. Not a fan of terrorists. I'd rather side with a J over an M most days. But you know what? The Muslims should have their nation too. If they want to have their nation ran by terrorists, they can have that. I'm okay with that. And if they want to fight each other, not a good thing, but let them do it. I just don't want to be taking care of either side. I don't want to be sending missiles to either one of them. So that's my stance. But we hear that Israel is committing a genocide from everybody now, and it's becoming more and more popular. Like, I've just watched, like, Piers Morgan totally flip. It was Israel, October 7th, October 7th, October 7th. They need their get back. And then over the last year, it's slowly become Israel is committing a genocide on Palestine, on Gaza, and Israel bad. And now it's popular for everybody to say Israel bad. I think there's nuance. I think that maybe the Israel's being being a little too aggressive, but then again, I don't live over there, and those people do hate them. If you're raised in your culture to kill the people of the other culture, that makes the people of the other culture want to kill you. And now they both just want to kill each other. It's not a good situation. And whoever says it's not a religious thing, I've heard people say, oh, you're downplaying it. It's not just a religion. No, it's primarily a religious thing. It's first and foremost their ideological theocracy, their theology, not their theocracy. A little bit of it is a little bit of a theocracy. Like the Muslims run the one area, the Jews run the other area. They don't call it a theocracy, but it's basically a theocratic issue. It's a theological issue. It's a 4,000-year war between the Jews and the pagans, between Israel and everybody around them. It's been happening forever. It's been happening since before the Bible. It's been happening since the 42 laws of Ma'at. Shout out, Freddie. So when people brush off the religious thing, it's a religious war that will go on forever, has gone on forever, and it's never going to end until the world ends. When it ends and there's peace in the Middle East, get ready because Jesus is coming back. It's over, boys and girls. You don't want peace in the Middle East if you want the world to keep going. BB said Israel will occupy Gaza in the near future. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want our soldiers to die by helping them procure Gaza. If they want to take over Gaza, take over Gaza. Have at it. I'm just gonna watch, But I don't want to help them do it. But we're gonna keep providing both of them. What did Matan say? I think we should rob what he said, I think we should rob somebody and let Lockheed Martin take over everything. Make it the Middle East of America? No, I don't want to do that. I think Trump's troll about turning it into a giant McDonald's or building a hotel there. I think that was a troll. Lefties lost their damn minds. It was so funny. I'm thinking I might buy Gaza and turn it into a giant resort. Yeah, we're going to fund it. I know. I don't want to fund it. That's my problem. I don't want to fund the war. I don't want to help them fight their war. But if they're going to fight their war, let them do it. It's not my business. What are they talking about here? But okay, so the point of this segment is now pictures and videos are going out all over the place. They've been saying this for a while. They've been saying that Israel is like starving them out. The rebuttal to this, or the rebut, I don't see. Shiva got my head all screwed up. Rebut. The rebut to this, the refutation of this, is Israel does provide them food. There's all sorts of outreach and rations that get sent there, and America helps give it. And I saw a thing that said 87% of the food that gets donated gets stolen, and then the rest of it, the Hamas is rationing it out, and they just keep all of it for them. So the fat cats, the terrorists, they have all the rations, and people are starving to death. They're starving their own people. They get sent money to build water lines, and instead they build terror tunnels. And both sides are building tunnels. Don't get me wrong, but the terrorist leadership isn't giving the rations and the assistance that America and Israel give them to the people. They keep it for themselves. Shocker. So that would be how you would refute the argument that Israel's starving them. If you're pro-Israel, you say, well, no, they're trying to help them. And then when they say, well, they're bombing indiscriminately. No, they're not. They're giving out leaflets. They're dropping knocker bombs. And if they wanted to, they could just wipe it all out if they really wanted to. If they were trying to do a gentrification, they could just drop a big bomb and wipe it out. But they don't. Which shows there is some compassion for the innocent people there. But maybe there's not. Maybe I'm just trying to look at both sides. And also, in times like this, with situations like this, you can't believe anything of what you see. It could all be propaganda. This could be a fake war. Like wag the dog or something. I don't think it's a fake war, YouTube. I'm just saying. These videos that we're about to see and these websites about the starving kids in Gaza, this is the same thing they did. They said when October 7th happened and, the media was leaning towards Israel, it was they're cutting babies' heads off. It's always the emotional language and these emotional images. All you need is Sarah McLachlan singing, and you're going to donate your next paycheck to a starving Gaza child. What's up, Kat? Let's watch this video, and then I'll show you some of these pictures.
National maps, obviously.
And they're warning, ladies, in the chat. Kat, they're very sad pictures, okay? The pictures are sad. I get it. But what's the when you read the news and you watch the news, they're trying to convey a message that they want you to believe. So when you see it and you start to feel a certain way, you got to say, no, stop that. There's a reason they want me to feel this way. Why? What's the reason? What's the narrative here?
In focus, they are usually redrawn every decade, but as you referenced, Republicans there rolled out a new map that could actually...
Oh, and the whole point of this is that a American envoy is going to Gaza to look into this situation.
Actually add up to 5
Or did.
GOP seats. You now have Governor Gavin Newsom promising that California would respond with a new map that would boost Democratic seats in that state. Let me ask you, Senator, do you believe it's hypocritical for Democrats to...
Listen to this news show. All you hear is sirens in the background. Don't they have like some sound dampening technology or something?
deploy the same strategy that they're criticizing by Republicans in Texas?
Well, first of all, let's understand why Donald Trump is asking for 5 more Republican seats out of Texas. It's because his policies, especially his economic policies, have been so bad.
What is this? This video is not... Texas Democrats leave the state in an extraordinary move and a slow trickle of Gaza aid. An extraordinary move to counter Republican redistricting in Texas, dozens of Democrats in the House of Representatives headed to Illinois to deny a necessary quorum for the GOP to move forward with these efforts. It culminated with Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott threatening to expel the Democrats from Texas State House and potentially extradite them, saying they may be felons. Texas State House Democrats filed off of buses and Ubers into a crammed county party headquarters at a strip mall Sunday night, standing alongside Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to rail against what they charged was a racist, unfair, and undemocratic attempt to overhaul the Lone Star State's political map. I'm not sure how this is tied in. I think, oh, this is a different story. My bad, guys. What am I doing? I forgot this is giving me a bunch of stories. The story we're looking for, it has like 3 stories in one article, and we wanted the second one. Okay. Warning, this video contains very sad images. This is extra sad, guys.
A cry for help.
Sorry,
no mother
headphone.
in Gaza can answer.
Sorry, headphone wearers.
Malnutrition.
That was really loud.
12-year-old Huda of the body she should have. I used to be normal. I played and ran like any other child, she says. Those legs she ran with have become shapeless. Her weight now less than half of what it should be. What's left of her once black hair is discolored and falling off.
Why is her hair changing colors?
From head to toe, Huda is disfigured by a severe lack of protein.
There is no available
Ah,
protein
video
in
cannot be
Gaza
played.
nowadays. No fish, no meat, no chicken, no
Stop.
egg. Even yogurt
can't-
is not available.
Yogurt?
Being alive in Gaza.
It won't let
after
me,
21 months of war. Is it a curse or a blessing? Many will tell you at times it depends on the...
The reporter sounds like she's about to start crying. Humanitarian organizations say the amount of aid that has entered Gaza since Israel said it would pause military action in some areas is insufficient to stop a growing number of Palestinians dying from hunger. Israel has allowed only a limited amount of aid to enter the enclave since it lifted a total blockade this year. Most of the aid has been distributed by the Israel-backed group known as Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and other humanitarian organizations have said Israeli restrictions have hampered their efforts to distribute aid. This is not an adequate response. And a gradual entry of aid here or there, she said it's not going to be adequate to prevent us from entering into a full-blown famine where the numbers of deaths go way, way up. So there's a U.S. envoy going to look into this. I think it may have happened today, but this is from AP. This is the photo, the photo essay, and this is these are the photos that really will get you choked up. And yeah, it looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that looks horrible. But like, I have a feeling it's probably always like this over there. Am I wrong for that? Like, something tells me these desert folk, none of the kids are fat. None of them are running around eating ho-hos and drinking Mountain Dew. I'm sure it's probably worse in wartime, but I don't think they're ever probably very happy. The photo essay. Not it. In some tents and shelters in northern Gaza, emaciated children are held in their parents' arms. Their tiny arms and legs dangle limp. Their shoulder blades and ribs stick out from skeletal bodies, slowly consuming themselves for lack of food. Starvation always stalks the most vulnerable first. Kids with pre-existing conditions like cerebral palsy waste away quickly because the high-calorie foods they need have run out, along with nutritional supplements. This is a 2-year-old malnourished boy stands shirtless for a photo. Family home in a refugee camp in Gaza City. Malnutrition is also worsened by pre-existing conditions, compounding by illnesses linked to inadequate health care and poor sanitation, largely the result of the ongoing war. Nothing wrong with there. What? After months of Israeli blockade and turmoil in the distribution supplies, children in Gaza with no previous conditions are also starting to die from malnutrition. Aid workers and doctors say over the past month, 28 children have died of malnutrition-related causes, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Though it's not known how many have other conditions, the ministry, part of the Hamas-run government, is staffed by medical professionals, and its figures on war deaths are seen by the UN and other experts. Experts. Little babies. Yeah, see, these are definitely heart-wrenching photos. Food experts warn this week the worst-case scenario of famine is playing out in Gaza. The UN says the impact of hunger building for months is quickly worsening, especially in Gaza City and other parts of northern Gaza, where it estimates nearly 1 in 5 children is now acutely malnourished. Across Gaza, more than 5,000 children were diagnosed with malnutrition this month, likely an undercount. The UN says malnutrition was virtually non-existent before the war. See, I found that hard to believe. Malnutrition was non-existent before. They say America is malnutritioned. They say, well, 1 in 5 kids have food insecurity. Meanwhile, all the kids are fat in America. Israel denies a famine is taking place or that children are starving. It said it has supplied enough food throughout the war and accuses Hamas of causing shortages by stealing aid and trying to control food distribution, which makes sense to me. But Epstein seems to make sense to me that Hamas is probably stealing all the rations. Humanitarian groups deny that significant diversion of food takes place. Throughout nearly 22 months of the war, the number of aid trucks has been far short of the roughly 500 a day the UN says is needed. 500 food trucks a day. Why can't Gaza grow its own food? Make its own food? Because they're in the desert? Like, I don't know. Relocate. Not just fat, morbidly obese. In America, yeah. The impact is seen most strongly in children with special needs. Well, they all have special needs. They're a child in Gaza. That's a special need right there. And their parents are possibly... well, never. I'm not going to say that. Mossab al-Deeb's 14 suffered a heavy head wound on May 7th when an airstrike hit next to his family tent. That is a special need. Yeah, all the kids have special needs when bombs are being dropped on the city. Yeah, they all have special needs. Largely paralyzed, only partly conscious, and severely malnourished because the facility no longer has supplies to feed him. Dang. That is sad. See, it is sad. Well, he's got a tracheotomy, too. Musab's mother, Shaninaz al-Dib, said the boy was healthy before the war, but that since he was wounded, his weight has fallen from 40 kilograms to less than 10. from 88 to 22 pounds. 22 pounds, damn. That's sad. Anyway, but there's a U.S. envoy going out there to visit to look into this situation.
Let's turn to Gaza right now. President Trump's special envoy and ambassador to Israel, both visiting food distribution centers today in Gaza at the center of really a worldwide debate over allegations of starvation and genocide. Ambassador Mike Huckabee shared a few images from the trip, including this one showing a mass of Palestinians standing behind barbed wire and facing a soldier. The trip comes as the Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 150 people in Gaza have now died from malnutrition.
If you've ever seen when, like, maybe you guys probably haven't seen this, but a lot of times people will, like, buy a bunch of pizzas and they'll go to the homeless area where all the homeless people are, and they'll hand out pizza. And the smart people will, like, set up a table. There was one group that they would always bring out a bunch of boxes of pizza, and then they'd have a jug of like Gatorade and then a jug of like hot cocoa, like the big Gatorade 5-gallon things with a little spout. And then they'd have people form a line, and they'd give each person 1 or 2 slices. You want some cocoa or you want some Gatorade? I want some cocoa. You get a cup of cocoa, you get 2 slices of pizza. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good day. Okay. That's the way to do it. But some people would just buy like 10 pizzas, and they'd walk onto the block and they'd be like, who wants pizza? And all the homeless people scatter. We want some pizza. And they'd just be like, okay, here, take a box, hand it out. Here, take a box, hand it out. None of those homeless people handed out those boxes of pizza for you. They took the box and then they went and sold the pizza for $1 a slice so they could buy a bag of dope. You did not. All you did was give the fastest, most aggressive guys who do this. They do this. Whenever somebody comes with, I got a bag of clothes here to donate. And then the first guy will run up, oh, here, I'll distribute that for you. I know these people. I'll hand it out for you. Let me take that. And then they go and set it up on a blanket, and they sell the socks for $1 a pair. You can't just go into a place like this, because in that pit, the reason I thought about this is because in that picture, you see all these fighting age men surrounding the food, and they're handing it out to the people. You know, the big guy's going to run up and take the food, and then he's going to distribute it, and he's going to try to profit off of it. I've seen it a million times.
Nutrition since the start of the war. And we need to warn you, the images you're seeing here and you're going to see are very disturbing, but they are important for the world to see. Medical staff on the ground, including some Americans, are doing everything they can with what...
See, when I see stuff like this, I said the same thing when Israel said they're cutting the heads off children. I was like, this sounds like some emotional stuff to get women upset and involved, because they form consensus. And this is how we're going to direct the narrative, is we show videos that get women emotional, and then we go into action because the public consensus swings a certain way. So when I see videos like this, I have the opposite reaction. I have like a knee-jerk reaction to be like, this is probably bullshit. It's just the way my brain works. I can't help it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Maybe I'm sure this is a horrible humanitarian crisis. But when I see videos like this, I'm like, maybe Gaza's not such a good place, because they're trying to get me to think, man, we got to save Gaza. That's what they want me to think. And I don't want to think what they want me to think. It's a defense mechanism. Maybe it's a bad thing.
Whatever resources they have to try to save people, including the most vulnerable children. NBC's Matt Bradley has more on their efforts to save some of the youngest victims of hunger.
At Gaza's Nasser hospital, doctors are struggling to keep 4-month-old Zainab alive. She's one of several starving and malnourished children our reporting team in Gaza have followed.
See, I'm getting an emotional response to this. I don't like seeing it. It's sad but they're doing this to get me to have an emotional response. So I have to. What do I do with my emotions? I don't know. I'm a sociopath. What am I supposed to do with this feeling I have? The fact they convinced the kid to wave tells me the child is being used as a prop. Yeah. It's
in recent months.
First, as a mother, it breaks your heart. But also as a human,
it breaks your heart.
Bear to see something like this.
I know, and this is why I don't like this. They're doing emotional hostage taking.
The few American doctors here are doing what they can to help Palestinian medical staff. A photo above Zainab's cot reads, Zainab the Queen. She suffers from a condition that means she needs special baby formula. Foreign doctors saying any formula they bring with them is confiscated by Israeli authorities, part of a wider 5-month blockade of the Strip. Images of skeletal Palestinians.
Who is the one actually starving the kid? Yeah, and also, I bet you there's starving kids in Israel too. You know, I'm sure nobody over there is like, except for the fat cats, the rich people, the elites. But the average person in Israel or Gaza is probably not 300 pounds. They're probably all struggling. They're in the desert, in like third world countries. Well, I know Israel's not a third world country, but still, it's not a forgiving land. It's an inhabitable, it's a tough place to live. I'm sure there's a lot of starving kids in Israel too. I'm angry, but don't know who I need to be angry with besides who the media wants you to be. They want you to be angry at Israel. Israel's committing a genocide. But a year ago, they wanted you to be angry at Hamas. And then we're justifying Israel attacking Hamas. Now we're condemning Israel for attacking Hamas and Gaza. So this is why this is why I don't talk about this stuff a lot. We haven't even really done any deep dive into Israel. God, to me, it's all biblical. Like, people will say that's dumb. I think that's the root. I think what's dumb is talking about 40 years of borders and geopolitical negotiations and weapons contracts and who's running who and who's helping who do what. No, that's just a blink on the timeline. The big mass majority of the timeline is that this is a holy war and it's never going to end. Climate change did it.
Palestinian children like
racism did it.
Zainab sparking outrage around the world, but Israel is casting doubt on claims of famine.
Like, look at this. Look at that.
Outrage around the world, but Israel.
Look at this place. This looks like a place you don't even got to tell me that there's a war going on. If you show me any picture at any time of this place, I'm going to say, I think a lot of people are starving there, and I think there's probably a lot of war going on in that area. Like, just, you don't have to tell me anything. Show me any picture of that without the tents. Take the tents away. Nope. People still starving there. Still going to be a war there soon if there's not already.
Israel is casting doubt on claims of famine.
There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
The Israeli prime minister is saying it's a food distribution.
Now, see, that's not true. I'm sure people are starving in Gaza. There's no starvation in Gaza. I'm sure some people are starving in Gaza. BB.
Problem. But it all comes as even one of Israel's closest allies, the president of the U.S., says there's real starvation in Gaza. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
Ooh, Bibi and Trump disagree.
And Ambassador Mike Huckabee making a rare visit to Gaza to see aid distribution sites and assess the conditions, although they didn't visit what remains of Gaza's hospitals. Doctors here say evidence of starvation is obvious and everywhere.
Come inside and take a look for yourself. Don't believe what other people are saying. Take a look with your own eyes.
I'm not going to Gaza. No.
All food is scarce. 12-year-old Huda says her condition means she can only drink milk. Now thin and her hair falling out, she stares at photos of herself taken before war robbed her of her childhood.
She's super skinny there too. The hair falling out and turning blonde is crazy. Is that's due to lack of protein, they said? I've never seen that before, but she's very skinny here too.
I used to play, run, do everything, she says, but now I don't play or run. I just lie in bed at the hospital.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to say that. I'll say it. No, I don't want to say that. I'll say it. Her hair almost looks like somebody bleached it. Like, it's not like her hair is turned blonde instead of brunette. I don't get it. Is that something that does somebody who knows about medical? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. It just, she was skinny in the pictures before. She's still skinny. Maybe she has some sort of other health issue.
Mothers lacking nutrition are struggling to breastfeed their children.
This is one of the extreme examples of malnutrition. When we asked the mother why you didn't give her breastfeeding, she told us that she was starved. She's just only the skin over the bone.
So the mother was starving, so she wasn't able to breastfeed. I'm sure that makes sense. If the mother, yeah, you're probably not even going to produce milk. I don't know how that works. I'm not a doctor, man. It is sad. I'm sure people are starving. Especially more. I'm sure people were starving before the war and probably more during the war. And I'm sure Israel is at fault for some of that. But I'm sure also both things can be true. Terrorists are probably also to blame for this. So it's not just big, mean Israel's fault. I'm not like, yeah, I don't know.
Trying to get food in Gaza can be deadly. The UN says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed trying to access the limited supplies Israel's allowed.
See, these guys are running off with these whole boxes. They're not going to share those boxes. Maybe with their family. Maybe they're taking it off for their family. I get that. But a lot of these guys are going to walk out with more than they need, and they're going to try to barter it.
Out into Gaza, distributed by an Israeli and American-backed.
How do I know? Because I know poor people. That's how I know. I know poor fighting age men. I know what they do. And you know, they're not all like Christian saints.
Private aid group. American doctor Eli Dallas Burgos says this boy was shot in the head.
That's
while
horrible.
food.
I don't want to see that.
He's unlikely to heal while malnourished, he says.
So Eve.
Say, I don't like that. I don't want to see that. That's sad.
If you survive the trauma,
their family of 37
may then die from starvation afterwards. And so that's been really difficult. The starvation is en masse. This is not just one or two people. This is the entire population.
While foreign medics rotate into Gaza every few months, Palestinian doctors and nurses stuck in Gaza struggle to care.
They are. Look how skinny. Everybody is so skinny.
Care for the sick while feeding themselves and their families.
They are doing the best they can.
We got to get the nurse crying.
It's been really difficult to watch.
Zoom in shot. Zoom in for the close-up. Let's get some tears.
I come to work every day, and
we're going to need a tear.
They're trying to do their best, and they are exhausted.
Maybe because of the lack, maybe it's malnutrition. That's why a tear didn't fall. We needed a tear, though.
There's some soup kitchens and a little bread, but there's not enough to go around. Gaza's aid workers and medics often go without. How are your colleagues reacting to their circumstances?
What stuns me every day is the fact that they continue to show up to work. We are able to offer a very simple portion of rice to our colleagues who come to work. I know very many of my colleagues will not eat that portion of rice because they're feeding it to their hungry children.
Outside Nasser Hospital Tuesday, prayers are held for yet more Palestinians shot dead while trying to get aid. The hunger. His children are hungry, this mourner screams. The number of Palestinians killed in Israel's offensive hit a grim milestone this week, 60,000 since the conflict began when Hamas attacked on October 7, 2023, according to Gaza's health ministry, which also says at least 150 Palestinians have died from malnutrition.
Is that baby alive in that blanket? Don't be opening that up on... What is this?
Including 88 children. Tragically, Zainab was one of them, dying of starvation just last week.
He had that... I don't even want to know.
Her mother, Sokana, lying her queen, a tiny bundle on the dirt.
The entire news coverage angle is obviously politically driven. I know, and that's what I'm trying to... Yes, this stuff is emotional. Yes, it's horrible to see this. It's even hitting me in the feels. But the media is trying to drive a narrative to you. The narrative is now Israel bad, which a lot of people have been saying that for a long time, so they feel justified. And now the left and the right agree on something, Israel bad. That's the conclusion we've come to, I guess. When I see this, it makes me want to not be anti-Israel. I'm neutral on it. I don't know. I don't like you're not gonna bring peace to the Middle East, to the desert people. It's not gonna happen.
Outside the hospital where she died for final prayers. Sokana telling NBC News, "My daughter has died, but please look at the others. Open the borders. What more are you waiting for?"
Open the borders? What does that mean? Open the borders? Well, nobody's trying to immigrate there, so you're saying open the borders so that you can all get out. Where are you going to go to? Europe. Where they're taking, what they say they're going to allow in, they were allowing for either 2.5 million or 25 million refugees from Gaza. So that's what they mean. They open the border and let us out. Where are you going to go? Because it's going to be where you're going to go to the nearest desert country. It's going to be the same thing there. No, you're going to go to Europe. You're going to go to America. Open the borders. I think they mean open all the borders. There shouldn't be borders. Open the borders. What the hell? Yeah. Does she mean open the borders so we can leave, or open the borders in your country so we can come there? Either way. Open the borders. U.S. envoy Witkoff visits the Gaza aid operation, what the UN calls unsafe. Hold on. Medics say 3 Palestinians shot dead by Israeli forces near one of the GHF's aid points. Hamas Islamic Jihad released videos of Israeli hostages. Medics say dozens of Gazans have died of malnutrition in recent days as hunger spreads. Hunger spreads like it's a virus. Israel blockaded Gaza for months, now letting in more aid. UN says that's not enough. It's from Reuters.
Steve Witkoff on Friday became the first high-profile U.S. official to visit Gaza since the war began. He toured a U.S.-backed aid operation that the United Nations says is partly to blame for deadly conditions in the enclave. The site,
not me,
run by the U.S.-backed Gaza Humanitarian...
I'm not going to Gaza, Disney. If Disney World has an OR in it because it's in Orlando, and Disneyland has a LA in it because it's in LA, Disney Gaza would be Disney Gay? Disney Gay. Because it's in Gaza.
Humanitarian Foundation is a group the UN has declined to work with. Witkoff said the goal of the visit was to put together a new aid plan for the war-shattered territory. Hayam Jandia, a displaced Palestinian, was skeptical about his visit.
He should look at our situation. Our children are dying of hunger.
You got a nice trek, though. That's a nice bike.
We can't sleep from fear. What is he coming to do? I still don't understand what he's coming here to do.
It's not expensive.
Did he come to give us food? Even the American aid, what they call American, we haven't seen it. We want
what they call American.
The war to stop. We don't want these visits just to bring us food that we don't even receive.
Hours after Witkoff's visit, Palestinian medics reported Israeli forces had shot dead 3 Palestinians near one of GHF's aid sites in the city of Rafah on Gaza's southern edge. Reuters could not immediately verify whether it was the same location. The United Nations says more than 1,000 people have been killed trying to receive aid in Gaza since the GHF began operating there in May.
So you're trying to go get aid, and then you get killed while trying to go get aid. Sounds like a trap. It's a setup. That's messed up. That should be some sort of war crime. They're saying Bibi's like under investigation by the UN for war crimes. That's what they're saying.
GHF, meanwhile, says nobody has been killed at its distribution points. Witkoff visited Gaza a day after meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with Israel under mounting international pressure over the devastation of Gaza and growing starvation among its 2.2 million inhabitants. The worsening humanitarian crisis.
Somebody said gays for Gaza is like chicken for KFC.
has prompted France, Britain, and Canada to announce plans to potentially recognize a Palestinian state, a move already taken by most countries, but not by major Western powers. Last week, indirect ceasefire
Look how
talks
much they
between
drop on
Israel
the
and
ground.
Hamas in Doha ended in deadlock, with the two sides trading blame for the impasse, and gaps lingering over issues including the extent of an Israeli military withdrawal.
Huh. All right, so trouble in the Middle East. Trouble in the Middle East. Never gonna end. Finger licking good takes on a new meaning. Yep. All right, guys. So that's sad. You know, I don't really have any thoughts other than what I've just given. Nothing to build on that. But what I do have for you is we missed them last week, so we got a lot this week. What we do have is, hold on one second. Un momento. This thing is so weird. What we do have is the meme. All right. Meme time. It's been a minute. It's been a week. We didn't do memes last week. So we got memes this week. What up, Matthew? This is not a meme. This is I left his name because his name is in the article. I was going to blur his name out, but his name is in the article. But this guy, John, that I know, he just got out of jail. He was doing a long time in jail for something. I don't know what. But and then he added me as a friend. And you know, we caught up a little bit. But he's lost his damn mind. But anyway, he shared this. I don't know how he found this. This is a Macon newspaper article from when was this? From 20. Let's see, I graduated in 2006. I would have been 18. 23, so 5. 2011. This is from 2011, I think. And he messaged somebody, not me, but since he's on my friends list, it popped up on my thing. He said, "My brother, remember this? It was my first and only high-speed chase. I almost rolled the SUV, all because of Jen, R.I.P. Courtney, and Todd. To the rest, I love and miss you all." So that's his and then here's the newspaper article. After the Macon resident confronted two of the accused, they fled with the check, according to the release. So John and Jen were knocking doors together. They sell a subscription to somebody for a check. Then they go to the next house and they're knocking a door there and they're spieling the person at the house trying to sell them. The neighbor walks over and says, "I just checked on the Better Business Bureau and they say this is a scam. Give me my check back." And we were trained to say, if somebody ever wants a check back, you say, you say I've already torn the receipt and you've given me the check, if I have a torn receipt and no check, they're going to think I stole the order. So I need to turn the check in with the receipt now that you've given it to me. It's in my possession. We don't do returns like that. But what you can do is you can go cancel your check and you can cancel the order with the receipt copy that you have. So stop the payment on your check and cancel the order, but I can't give you your physical check back. I need to turn it in with my receipt. That's like the spiel we're supposed to do if people are trying to get their money back or their check back. Really what it is the agent just wants to get paid for the order, because you get paid when you turn it in at night, whether the check goes through or not. There's a whole cancellation spiel that they used to do where they would just go into the hood and they would tell people, listen, help me get paid tonight. Write a check and cancel it as soon as I leave. It was called cancel spieling. And basically kids would come in with 15 orders every night. You get paid $5 an order. So, you get your $75 that night. You're feeling high on the hog. I had 15 on the day, but none of the checks go through because you're cancel spieling people. It was grimy. But anyway, so the people try to get the check back. John and Jen say, hell no. John pushes the lady, or John or Jim. Jim was big. One of them pushes the lady. They take the check. They jump into the SUV because they're the car handlers and the agents, which means they're driving the car with the other salespeople in the back, and they drop you off on a corner and pick you up in an hour and a half or something. They'll say, your drop is this street and this street. You got an hour and a half. I'll pick you up on this corner in an hour and a half. So they drop everybody off, and then they go park somewhere, and then they work a neighborhood. And then they come back to the car, and they pick everybody up, and then we go to another spot. So John and Jen have the whip, and they take the check, they push the lady, they run, they jump in the whip, and then they drive through all the neighborhoods like crazy, picking up all the people. Goal is get all the people, get back to the hotel, lay low. Cops are looking for us, and they're driving through everybody's neighborhood. I had a good drop that day. I was having a good day that day. I was killing it. And I'm waiting at my pickup spot early, and they come whipping around the corner like, get in, cops are on us. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. We picked up everybody, and then we're driving down the main road in Macon, and a cop pulled us over, and like 20 cop cars were there. There was like detective cars, fire trucks, ambulance. They brought the whole Macon police force out for us. And then we all went to jail. A Bibb County ordinance requires that door-to-door solicitors obtain a permit from the county, and that the permit is visible during the sales practices, according to the press release. The names of the 7 people arrested for soliciting without a license are John Richardson of Macon. John was not from Macon. Joshua Smith, Todd Reno, Genevieve Gibbs, Amber Kincaid, Courtney Goodman, and Jesus Mesa. Todd and Courtney, R.I.P., they're dead. But all these other, Jesus Mesa, that's Tony. He came and lived with me a little while after crew, and then that fell apart. That was a bad idea, but crazy story. Crazy story of when I went to jail in Macon. Then we got out of jail. So the manager bonded out everybody except for me, John, and Jen. He didn't bond out John and Jen because it was their fault that all this happened. And he didn't bond me out because I told him, hey, I probably got warrants and they're going to have a hold on me. So if you pay my bond and I have a hold, you're just going to waste your money. So don't pay my bond. He didn't pay my bond. Turned out I didn't have warrants. So me and John and Jen got released 11 days later. After the crew, he had bonded out all the other people, and they had jumped to Fayetteville, North Carolina. So when we got out of jail, we're in Macon, no crew, no vehicle, no money. And that's when I saw some of the craziest hustling I've ever seen in my life. By that night, we had a place to stay for 3 days, and we each had like $100 in our pocket. Just by knocking some doors. It was crazy. Jen is a beast. She walked up onto these people's porch at nighttime. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and there were 2 people sitting drinking on their front porch at a duplex. She walked up to their porch and spieled them, and basically they both, it was a guy and a girl. They each owned one of the duplexes, but they stayed together in the one duplex because they were a couple. They let us stay in the other half of the duplex for 3 days. And they were high as heck on Xanax and pot and drinking. And they had no idea we were even there for the 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, they find us sleeping in their next door house, and they're clear-headed. They're like, who the heck are these kids sleeping in our house? Then they called the cops, and the SWAT team woke us up with guns in our face. And we're like, whoa, they said we could stay here. And we didn't go back to jail or anything, but they let us go. And then we had to get a Greyhound on Monday. This all happened on like a Thursday night. And then Friday, we're like, we need a Greyhound ticket to North Carolina. They're like, we can't get you one till Monday. So we had to basically rough it, but we weren't roughing it. We were pushing people had a Land Rover, and they were letting us drive it around. But they don't know what they were doing because they were high on Xanax. So, it was crazy. It was crazy. That was a crazy experience. Anyway. But that's that. Next, memes. That was story time. Sorry. He posted that, and I was like, dang, he found that article. That's crazy. Those three are a good combo. We called it time traveling. You basically time travel through the whole weekend, and you were totally blackout, unconscious, and just functioning somehow for 3 days. And it's a total black hole. Dude, Xanax is bad. I had some times but it wasn't my thing, but I had times when I did a lot of Xanax, and usually that's when a lot of crimes happened. Because you just time travel through the weekend, and you're just functioning somehow. You're moving around, but it's just a missing hole in your life. There's so much missing chunks of my memory. I don't know who this dog is or why he's banned from this park, but he certainly seems like a lot of fun. A smoking, drinking, skateboarding dog. No smoking, drinking, skateboarding dogs. That's a cool dog. Nice dog. Good dog. Next. Found this. I actually messaged this guy. I found his Facebook. I sent him a message asking for an interview. Probably not going to happen. But this is Matt Alder. This is the peacekeeper from the No Kings protest who actually shot and killed I forget the guy who died's name is, because he's Hamusa or Asa, something like that. Fatal No King shooter identified as former armor engineer Matt Alder. So this is the guy who actually, did the shooting, who never got arrested, who's still free. And he's privated all his social media, but I did message him on Facebook to try to get an interview. Looks like a real winner. Then I also messaged the Gamboa guy, the guy who got shot and went to jail for open carrying. I messaged him. Go buy the damn vest, you hippie. Anyway, that's him, Matt Alder. I'm still keeping my eye on this because charges need to be brought up, and they've just tried to bury it. Like, the mayor holds responsibility in this. 5051 has responsibility in this. And I want to see justice. Next, what do they all have in common? Obama and Big Mike, Macron and Mr. Macaroni. I think this is who's this? I don't know who some of these people are. Is that Soros or anyway, bunch of elite people, and they're all married to men. What's the mystery here? The mystery is they're all men.
It's a man, baby.
Damn. Next. Hey, Hulk Hogan. Andre, is that you? Okay, Hulk Hogan died. Nice. This is a compliment, by the way. The big butt obsession is not a white thing. If you're that much into big butts, you're gay and don't know it. Sorry, but Sydney Sweeney is a basic white girl with no butt. Sydney Sweeney is hot. because she doesn't have a big butt. And this girl is based, Cringe Panda is based. She knows what I've been saying this whole time. Big butts are a psyop from the Jays. They used hip-hop music to psyop men into turning gay, specifically black men first, but white men will follow. That's why hip-hop is the most, in suburban white communities, is the most listened to music, because it was a psyop to turn us all degenerate, dumbed down, demoralized, and gay. She's not hot? You don't think she's hot? I think she's hot. I think she's hot. Anyway, next. They're not dangerous if you raise them right. I strongly disagree. Blonde women with Chucky tattoos are dangerous no matter how they're raised. Yeah. Yeah, this girl will definitely stab you. Glutinous minimus. Next.
18 years, 18 years.
I don't know why I played that. Real Donald Trump posted, look, it's him and JD chasing after. Is this Larry King or shoot, what am I thinking of? Not OJ. Larry, the guy that got beat by the cops because they were trying to kill the bee. There was a bee flying around and they were trying to kill the bee and they kept hitting Rodney King, not Larry King. I'm Larry King Live. This is Larry King Live. Rodney King. OJ? Is that OJ? No, I think this is Rodney King, right? She looks like a trailer park Ferris wheel. Trailer park Ferris wheel. What does that mean? Everybody gets a ride? Repping for the small rump sisters. That's right. Next. My dad couldn't find Google Chrome, so I did this. Chrome. Hold on a second. I need to look at something. Okay, one of these ones is going to scare you guys, but don't worry. There's nothing inappropriate here, okay? All right. This is funny desktop, though. And look, there's not even that many icons. But that's a cool desktop background. Next. Just a yearly reminder so her legacy will live on. It's not a knee. This is a magic card. And if you see, in the magic card, there's something large protruding here that this magic character's hand is on. And people say, well, that's her knee. She's got her knee raised. But look at her feet. Her legs, obviously, if you know how shapes work, her legs are straight down and her feet are pointed. These are her two legs. If you follow the lines, this knee would be right about here. This knee would be right about here. You see the curve of the knee here and here. So what is this large protrusion in this magic card? What is that?
It's a man, baby.
What the? Next. This is a guy. This is a. Dude, this dude self-owned himself. This is so funny. So he posted something about the Cincinnati, the couple that got jumped in Cincinnati, and it was like, keep my town's name out your mouth, you dumbasses. These white people were racist, and they deserve to get their asses whooped. And then so everybody in the comment was commenting, calling this guy an idiot. And he said, just so y'all know, I got the vibration turned all the way up on my phone, deep in my ass. So every racist comment is just helping me out. What the fuck? Hold on. What the?
Why are you gay?
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you.
That means you're
That
gay.
means you're gay.
He said, I got my phone deep in my ass on vibrate, and every racist comment is getting me off. That's weird. X is crazy, dude. Next. This guy's been buying and returning 110-pound anvils on Amazon for 8 months now. Dude, this guy is a terror. Something needs to be done about this guy. I feel sorry for all the Amazon drivers. So for 8 months, he just repeatedly buys and returns anvils. so that the Amazon driver just has to carry a 110-pound anvil to his porch every day, over and over and over again. This guy is a horror, a terror to the land. Next. Motherfucker. Mufaka. I am Mufaka. The Samuel L. Jackson plays Mufasa, it would be Mufaka. Nice. Where the heck is my... All right, next. Boiling water. Wonder how I did it? How did I clean this pan? I boiled boil water with 2 tablespoons of vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice. Soak it for 25 minutes. After that, it looks exactly the same, so buy a new one. That's how you clean your pan. Next. Is this diagram accurate? Her arms look a little long. That's nightmare fuel, dude. After 30 weeks of being pregnant, the baby is now fully formed inside the lady's body, and it will soon be time for birthing. First off, this is not to scale in any way. Yes, her arm looks like Slender Man. She looks like a creature from a horror movie, but the baby is sitting inside of her with its legs going down her legs. This is not Slender Baby. Well, the baby's fat. This baby's got more food than all of those poor kids in Gaza. But the mom, something is... That's natural. Is that... All the guys are like, is that really how that works? The baby's just sitting down inside of you? What the... Next. This is so funny. This is the apology from American Eagle. Let's get the frame good here. We got the good frame. Good frame. Okay. To whom it may concern, from American Eagle, we sincerely apologize for featuring Sydney Sweeney in our recent advertisement. In hindsight, we underestimated the combined impact of her blue eyes, blonde hair, and general hotness. Also, we did not realize how big her boobs would be. Our marketing team has been sent to denim sensitivity training. Thank you for your feedback. Please stop emailing us. We're still trying to recover from the group chat fallout. They apologized. They apologized. That baby even has a tablet. Yeah, the baby's got a phone in the mom's stomach. Next. Whoa! Whoa! Hold on. What is that? Oh, it's a kitten. You only see it once and then never again. Guys, it's a kitten. Okay? It's obviously a kitten. Okay? I'm not going to put anything pornographic on the screen. It's a kitten. Calm down. What the? I just blew your mind. Meow. Next. Cartman as Charlie Kirk in the new coming episode of South Park. Kirk quickly embraced the parody. I don't know. It could be Crowder. Could be Charlie doing what Crowder came up with first. Anyway, next. Kitty's got claws. 9 lives matter. Potholes. This is not a meme. This is actually from a real Coin 6, and there was a news story to go along with this. The way that they posted this headline in meme form on Facebook was so funny to me. Potholes with genital graffiti fixed. City of Portland urges online reporting. You guys, make sure you report on the fact that we fixed the genital potholes. Could you imagine all the potholes in Portland have like a dong growing off of them? Somebody is going around in Portland turning all the potholes into penises. Dude's a savage. Dude in Portland turning all the potholes into wee-wees is a savage. Oh my God, is that the second one that I did that to? Why do I keep letting... Oh, it's because I had it in here backwards. Because I burnt it earlier. Potholes with Genital Graffiti is my favorite Motley Crue album. Next. This is real too. This is from American Eagle on their Instagram. We're sorry. We will do better. Guys, they put out an apology. American Eagle has put out their apology. They say, we're sorry. We'll do better. Do better. Look at these big old hands. Look at these big old hands. I don't know what that is.
It's a man, baby.
Damn. Is that what good jeans look like? Would that have been a better good jean ad? That's so funny. Dude, America. I don't know. Actually, this is from @TyTheFish. I don't know if this is real, but it is funny. I think it's from Tyler Fisher. But I thought they actually shared this on their Instagram. Cat has a span like that too. A span. I don't know if this is real, but I saw it and it's funny. I don't know if this is real. So, but this is a tweet from apparently Ben Shapiro. The idea that Sydney Sweeney's boobs have ended wokeness is patently absurd. Hold on. The idea that Sydney Sweeney's boobs have ended wokeness is patently absurd. My sister has far larger and more beautiful breasts, and they have done far more for the right than some Hollywood harlot. That's Ben Shapiro talking about his sister. He's always talking about how hot his sister is. And she does have big boobs. We have talked about that before. We've covered that a long time ago in the show, that Ben Shapiro's sister has giant honkers. But she kind of looks like him. I don't know. Is Ben Shapiro's sister hotter than Sydney Sweeney? No. Does she have bigger breasts? Yes. Does she kind of look like a female version of Ben Shapiro? Yes. Could you imagine sleeping with a female Ben Shapiro? Well, you know, facts don't care about if you get off. I'm going to get off first. Okay. I mean, it's true. She does have bigger boobs. Damn. Boobs. Next. Stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us, says some Sophie Cunningham. Stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us. And somebody said, stop playing basketball on the dildo range. That's the dildo range. Why are you playing basketball on the dildo range? Get out of there. Just need to get her out of the Senate. Padded bras? I don't know. Next. Trying to date white girls and you're in too deep. Hitler Youth. No. But look, there's a black kid. Is this the H Youth? The HY? That's a black kid in there. Don't be looking for that type of people. Next. She is a hoe for show. Hoe for sure. Hoe for sure. For sure. Hoe for sure. She is a hoe for show. Remember, it's dildo, not don't. Ben's sister got some cans. She does. But did he really post that? My sister's breasts are way bigger than Sydney Sweeney's, and she's a degenerate. She is a hoe for show. Next. British parrot missing for 4 years returns home speaking Spanish. So this parrot flew to Spain for 4 years and came back speaking Spanish. I don't know if this is a true story, but it's funny. Next. Higher testosterone makes men do what they believe is right rather than what others believe is right. Based. It means I have high testosterone. Testosterone eliminates strategic pro-social behavior through impacting choice consistency in healthy males. Exogenous testosterone fully eliminated strategic, i.e. feigned, pro-sociality, and thus decreased submission to audience expectations. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? It means I got a lot of testosterone. Next. No matter what your job is, always try to make it interesting. Dude, the executioner has bowling on his guillotine. This would be awesome. So you can execute degenerates and bowl at the same time. Strike. Shapiro, like, my sister's boobs feel much, and ha ha ha. Satan says, ha ha ha, the world is mine. And then somebody says, no wonder why it's so gay, Satan. No wonder it's so gay, Satan. Even South Park knows Satan is gay.
Why are you gay?
Next. Somebody with a bunch of right angles on their forehead says, we like to help the mentally ill. And then the trans people say, we do too. The Atlas Society says, by sterilizing them and experimenting on them. That's how we help the mentally ill people. And then the trans people say, we do too. We do too. We also like to help mentally ill people by sterilizing them and experimenting on them. Interesting. It's almost like these two things are very similar. Huh. Where's my uh-oh, we have a mystery here. Geitentag. Next. Dracula bites neck. I've had my booster. Fuck. Dracula wanted to be a pureblood. He's drinking booster blood. Next. These little freezer pops from the Chinese place are freaking awful. Do not recommend. The Chinese mini freezer pops. Salt flavor. Soy sauce flavor freezer pop. I never thought about that. They do look like miniature otter pops. They do look like miniature otter pops. Next. Breaking. The Kansas City... This is a real story. The Kansas City taxpayer-funded grocery store Sunfresh has collapsed, with shelves completely empty, even though the city has invested over $3.5 million into it. That is a true story. Fleck has covered it. They showed videos of it. It's a grocery store. You walk in, all the produce is either rotten or not there. The shelves are empty, and it's a government-funded grocery store, similar to what they have in Cuba and Cuba, or in, what's that other country? Venezuela, all them socialist countries, government-funded grocery stores. And this is what Magdani or Madon, whatever the hell that dude in New York's name is, and probably the Fateh dude in Minneapolis, all these foreigners who are running for governor and mayor and stuff. This is what they want. This is the socialism they want, is government-funded grocery stores. This is what you end up with. No food. Women be shopping. Shrimp fried ice. That's funny. Next. They're putting chemicals in the fire that turn the friggin' swords gay. What's up with all these rainbow weaponry? This like anodized steel or whatever they call it. They're putting chemicals in the fire to turn the freaking swords gay. We got rainbow swords now. Rainbow knives. I don't know what that is, but stop it. Get some help. I don't think Gatorade and the WNBA fully thought through this marketing campaign. Let her cook. Yeah, let her cook. Cook, woman. All right. Let her cook. It's another Anvil story. This means something. We do have multiple Anvil stories this week. Next, how to tell if you're an adult. Instead of your parents scheduling your doctor's appointments, you just avoid going to the doctor and hope you don't die. This is true. This is true. This is me to a T. What happens when you get sick? I die. That's what happens. Next. Trump saved us from this twice. What the? Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump. We did not want Clinton. We did not want Clinton in there murdering people.
Murderers. Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Thank you, Trump. Next. My little brother, I want to be racist when I grow up. My mom and my sister are freaked out because I told my brother racers, the people who race cars on TV, those are called racists. And he said, I want to be a racist when I grow up. I'm racist. I don't like marathons, triathlons, NASCAR, freaking anything. I don't like any decathlons, swimming races. I don't like any races. Therefore, I'm a racist. Next. I can't stand NASCAR. So that makes me racist. Next. Step 1, go to a drive-thru. Step 2, say, I'm sorry, but I'm blind. Can you read the menu to me? See how long before they realize you can't drive if you're blind. That's not true. You can drive if you're blind. What do you think the bumps in the middle of the highway, those little reflectors in the middle of the lanes, what do you think those are there for? The bumps on the shoulder on the interstate, when you drive on them, they go. What do you think those are? That's Morse code. That's Morse code for blind people to drive. The little reflectors in the middle, if you drive on them, it's like dum 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 dum. Or the ones on the shoulder, you can use either side. That's Morse code, so blind people can drive. If you didn't know that, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. Next. I only date black girls because I hate meeting fathers. Whoa! Whoa!
18 years.
Whoa!
18 years. She got one of your kids. Got you for 18 years.
That's racist. Next. Great financial news for me this morning. I no longer have to send $16 a month to that African kid. He got eaten by a lion. Whoa. I am proof that vision is irrelevant in driving. Yeah, you don't need to. I mean, old people drive, women drive, Asian women drive, and you know they can't see very good. Next. That's a nice ham you got there. It'd be a shame if someone put an S in front and an E behind it. Get it? Get it? You guys get it? No? It'd be a shame. Nice ham you got there. It'd be a shame if you put an S in front and an E behind. Get it? No? Next. When you're Australian and you finish eating at a restaurant. All right, chess players, what is the joke here? You got a knight set up, blocking their king here, blocking their king here, and you move your pawn here. So he can't move here, he can't move here, he can't move here. You're Australian, and you finish eating at a restaurant. Checkmate. Checkmate. Good one. No? We got it? I was just making sure you got it. Okay, next. I heard on a documentary that surprisingly, Argentina has a cold climate. Are you sure? I think it's very warm there. Yeah, they said it's bordering on Chile. It's bordering on Chile. You get it? Yeah? Next. Liquor store assistant. Hey, do you need help? Yes, but I decided to come here instead. I struggle with depression. Crippling depression every day. I'm only able to get out of bed to make it to the liquor store. I do need help. But I'll just get some liquor instead. Next. John Barrett liked that Australia joke, huh? Checkmate. In case you were wondering, Big Mike says it's this big. This is 6 inches. This is not 7 inches. Yup. No. Was anybody curious? Was anybody curious about how big Big Mike was? No?
It's a man, baby.
Next. ICE arrested a rioter at the beach. Just kidding. This was a surfer not following Gavin Newsom's COVID mandates. Where was the due process then? Adequate span. Where was the due process during COVID? Nobody cared about due process then. Next. White male. CNN special edition white male. This is the white. CNN white. is everything that's not in the white spectrum. You get your little gun, you get your little guy, and he has his white card. He identifies as white. Wah, wah, wah. Next. Libs, but who's going to pick our crops? Tesla. The Juan Deere 3000. Juan Deere. This is Juan Deere. He will pick your crops for you. He will not ask for very much money. He will pick all of the crops. His name is Juan. Juan Deere. Next. Juan Deere. Hansel and Gretel ends with 2 Germans pushing someone into an oven. Yeah, but the witch deserved it. She was big-nosed, curly-haired liar who was hoarding all the treats for her greedy self and... Oh no. Oh no, wait. So when Hansel and Gretel pushed the witch into the oven, she does... Whoa. That joke is anti-Semitic. Get that off of my screen. Next. Shoot for a bully-free school. Bad marketing plan, guys. Shoot for a bully-free school? Someone with your PR team made a mistake on this one. Dang, do not shoot for a free school. That's not a good idea.
2 mentals don't make a non-mental.
Next. Thor is a jerk. Spider-Man's got to pee and Thor left his hammer on the toilet seat. You're a real asshole, Thor. This guy's a real jerk. I don't know why people say they suffer that when drinking a lot. It's called being hungover, not depression. People who drink a lot don't get hungover, Dean. Technically true. And that is it for the memes. I gotta change these ear pads on my headphones. All right. Hungunder. Okay. What do we have in rapid fire news? Not a lot. We got a story about we got another shooting in Reno. Comments about Hulk Hogan from a school board guy. Biggest story in rapid fire is this girl, Lil Tay, 18 years old. 18 years. She had one of you kids, got you for 18 years.
18 years. She got one of your kids, got you for 18 years.
This chick, Lil Tay, started an OnlyFans on midnight of her 18th birthday and made $1 million in 3 hours. It's retarded. But we'll talk about that in a second. First, let's watch some funny reels. What do we got? Let's see this. Hey, we got some memberships. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. Freddie got a gifted membership. L. What's your favorite joke, Josh? Tell us, then I will share one. I don't know if your jokes are safe. My favorite joke? I don't know, man. That's a hard question. My favorite joke. I don't know. The one I always tell if somebody's like, tell me a joke. First one that always pops in my head. What's the difference between a drug dealer and a prostitute? A drug dealer can't clean his crack and sell it again. Prostitute can clean her crack and sell it again. Drug dealer can't. And then the other one is, how did the teacher get the student to have sex with a Mexican? She told her to do an essay. I don't know if those are my favorite jokes. They're just always the jokes that pop into my head. Yeah, Tar Baby's jokes are going to be bad. All right, let's watch this. It's raining. Get your umbrella. Hurry. Get in the car. Hurry.
Come on.
All right.
Umbrella? Oh, yeah.
Whew, he got his umbrella. Okay, now you can go get in the car.
Now you can go to the whip now.
That shit is coming down.
I know, man.
8, 9.
What is this? Oh, this one's funny too. This wasn't on my list, but this one's pretty funny. This dude's a legend in the gym, this trainer. He said 8, 9.
8, 9. Shabash. 91.
91.
92.
92.
93.
93.
94.
94.
95. 96.
Wow.
97.
Wow. All right. Well, you just got a date, my boy. She's like, what? 98. Good job. Good job. Dude is a legendary wingman in the gym.
18.
He said, go get your date. Go get your date. Nick Fuentes says he's done with the N-word. Will PBD invite him now?
I'm going to have to be political again. I'm going to have to be diplomatic. We're going to have to stop saying the N-word on the show. Did you see that, by the way, at America Fest? Patrick Bet-David said he wouldn't interview me because I'm saying the N-word all the time. That's so ridiculous. I mean, are you serious? But it's true. But it's true. We can't have a professional operation if we're always saying the N-word. So
I agree.
We all have to make sacrifices, and that is one of the great ones. So,
by the way, to say this guy knows how to deliver a message in such a profound way is an understatement. For a guy that's young, I don't know what he's going to turn into in 10, 20, 30 years from now. And I don't know if I agree with I don't even know all the values. I know some of the stuff he's talked about Israel and over the years, and I've seen him one time crossing a red light and, Ben Shapiro and some of that stuff. And Turning Point USA, so one thing you can't say about this guy. He actually believes what he talks about, and he gives me that vibe, and he's a very, very clear communicator. Yes, Nick, drop some of those words, bro. You're going to be invited to different places to get your message out. You don't need to say those words. You're plenty of a good communicator to not have to add that to your. I'm glad I don't know. Has he taken any advice or has he still I don't know if he's dropping in. Huh? Oh, good for him. Good for him. Good for him. I'm proud of him. Okay.
Nick's not saying the N-word anymore. We watched JS watch the video. Oh, you're not seeing the video? Oh, we can't see the videos, homie. My bad. Did you see none of them? You didn't see none of them? Well, that one, there's really nothing to see. It's just PBD talking to Fuentes. What was the other ones?
8.
Oh, this is the
9. Shabash.
It's a guy, he's squatting, and his dude's counting for him. Sorry. Dang, I'm going to stop. I'm going to mess up my production more often so that Kat will send super chats. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. We watched JS watch the video. I actually like Nick. Now his crash out on Tucker was pretty based. But it's not a crash out. That's not a crash out. God, why do we use the word crash out? What was the joke? I can't. If you set it up and you're using words that I can't even see the setup in the chat. So I just see a punchline. Where's Jeremy? Switch cameras, boomer. You can't see what you're watching. There was nothing to see. He's doing squats 91. And a girl walks over.
92. 93. 94. 95. 96.
Wow.
97.
Wow. And then the other one was a black guy running to his car to get his umbrella. And then he goes to the other side of the car.
God damn.
He runs to the car. He gets the umbrella. And then he opens the umbrella.
That shit was coming down.
I know, man.
And he goes back to the car. That was it. This is funny. Watch some deers jump on a trampoline. Because Asmongold used it, and I'm a soy Asmongoldite. Huh? Watch this deer. He gets a couple good hops. Nice, nice. And one more time. Watch this deer fall on his face. Dude. Stupid deer. This is funny too. Okay. Don't feel bad for laughing at this, guys.
Paraplegic.
5 minutes later.
She said this is...
This is how I swim as a paraplegic.
5 minutes later.
She drowned. And then this guy just like, oh, I don't want to laugh at it. Okay. I don't care about your reaction, dude. All right, you guys ready for Wolverine? This music, every time Wolverine music plays, it gets me copyrighted, but this dude is on stage doing this. Savage. That was pretty cool. That's all I got to say. That was pretty cool. Doesn't get any better than that. A poor little retard doing X-Men stuff. Okay. Hugh Jackman has really let himself go. I'm not going to pull a Mosman, explain my joke. I let things hang free. Okay, cool. Because I didn't get the joke, but I caught 2 raccoons playing on a trampoline. You caught 2 raccoons playing on a trampoline? Wolverine should wear contacts instead of glasses? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, his healing powers aren't working if he has to wear glasses. I think I touched on this sometime throughout the week. Florida County School Board Chair deletes comments celebrating Hulk Hogan's death as one less MAGA. Gainesville, Florida County School Board Chair Sarah Rockwell apologized on Facebook comments celebrating legendary wrestler Hulk Hogan's death on Thursday as celebrating his death as one less MAGA in the world. Oh, did Hulk die? I didn't even know. Good, one less MAGA in the world. She's since deleted the comment. In a follow-up comment, Rockwell added, he worked with the McMahons to union bust professional wrestling. He's never been a good guy. I feel absolutely nothing about his death. Well, nobody cares. But you work for a school board and you're putting this on the school board message board. Who's electing these people onto the school board? And then the comments were all like, oh, well, what about free speech? Free speech. But you're on the school board and you're doing it on taxpayer time, posting it to the school board message board. That's the problem. Keep your retarded opinions to your personal Facebook. The alternate universe, Downey Hugh Jackman. Yeah. What else we got? Another shooting. I was gonna put this. This should have been in the first segment because we talked about lots of shootings, but I needed something to fill out the rapid fire time. But I guess this one. I don't think this one qualifies as a mass shooting because there was only 2 deaths. But 2 killed, 3 injured. I think if more than 3 people are hit, it counts. I don't know. They're always changing the metric for the mass shooting statistics. But 2 killed, 3 injured in shooting at Reno's Grand Sierra Resort. And I know you can't see the article. I know. It's on purpose this time. Reno, Nevada, 2 people were killed and several others were injured in a shooting at a Nevada resort. It's shooting summer, summertime shootings. Every year, this is how it goes. Hold on. That's going to give me hiccups. It's a strong one. Outer line, explain. I really don't get it. Well, nobody's going to explain the joke to you, Dean. I've been on the phone with Police Chief Catherine Nance. Reno Mayor Hillary Sheave told the Reno Gazette-Journal, we're trying to put together what happened, and if it happened at various locations, we are gathering statements. It's an active investigation, so the number could change. According to Reno Police Department, the shooting occurred at the Grand Sierra Resort at about 7:25 a.m. Police advised the public to stay away from the casino while they respond to a critical incident. That dude just came from Vegas. Hot lead summer. Yep. Yeah, this happens every year. It's understandable that crime goes up when it's warmer outside. My heart breaks for the victims and their families and our entire community. Reno is strong, but we are not immune to the epidemic of gun violence. The epidemic of gun violence. It's a gun violence plague. The epidemic of gun violence. Police found the suspect within 4 or 5 minutes after arriving at the scene, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. So is it gun violence when the police shoot the guy with a gun? Is that an epidemic of gun violence also? They would add that to the stat to say that guns are extremely violent. The suspect was taken to an area hospital, and authorities said there was no longer a threat at the casino. Reno spokesperson Chris Johnson confirmed that a male suspect was in custody and had been hospitalized in an unknown condition. Was it a possibly white male suspect? The number of victims and their severity of injuries has not been confirmed. No information on the suspect in this article. But it doesn't say a race, so I could make a safe guess. If it says no race or if it says possibly white, it means it's not a white person. If it says white person, it's probably a white person. But if it says possibly a white person, it's not a white person. Or if there's no race listed, because they really love to make sure you know when the white people do the shootings. If the cops shot 4 bank robbers, is that a mass shooting? I don't think so. But that is an epidemic of gun violence. Next, apparently a Republican firebrand is throwing in her hat as South Carolina's governor, Nancy Mace. What do we know about Nancy Mace? She's a Republican firebrand. She's going to save the party, guys. Republican representative. Here, I'll bring this up so you can see what she looked like. You guys know anything? You guys know anything about Nancy Mace? South Carolina has launched a campaign for the state's gubernatorial primary in 2026. In a speech kicking off her campaign Monday morning, Mace said the state is tired of politicians who smile for the cameras, lie to your face, and then vanish when it's time to lead. I'm not one of them, she added. I'm running for governor because South Carolina doesn't need another empty suit. It needs a strong MAGA woman in a dress. It needs a governor who will fight for you and your values. She laid out a platform that included freezing the state's general fund spending at around $11.6 billion, mandating that every state agency cut 3 to 4% from its budget each year, expanding access to vocation or trade schools, and defunding any office, agency, or department who refuses to follow state and federal law. She's currently serving her third term in Congress. Once a Donald Trump critic, she has since become an ally of the U.S. president. Yeah, well, because it's the only way you're going to get elected. Pulling a Marshall trying to explain my joke for me is peak comedy. All I see is eyebrows. She do got some eyebrows on her, though. I want to find... She's currently serving her third term in Congress. Her video announcement focused heavily on her pro-Trump bona fides, featuring a clip of the president calling Mace a fighter. She's a fighter. She's a firebrand. That's what they say. That's what they tell me. She is set to face a former prosecutor in the Republican primary whom she said bungled an investigation into her ex-fiance, who she accused earlier this year of abusing her. Her Nancy Mace's ex-fiance, she accused him of abusing her, and then the Republican prosecutor bungled the investigation. Interesting. Other candidates of the Republican primary include the state's Lieutenant Governor Pamela Everett and Representative Ralph Norman, member of the House Freedom Caucus. It's 2 women and a guy. Mace 47 was the first female cadet to graduate from the Citadel, South Carolina's military college. She first entered public office in 2018. Mace was one of 7 House Republicans who signed the letter saying Congress did not have the authority to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Trump's favor. She was highly critical of Trump's role in the January 6th attack. We don't need her. I want to be a new voice for the Republican Party. I've spoken out so strongly against the president and against these QAnon conspiracy theorists that led us into a constitutional crisis. Okay, shut up, lady. I don't like her. I don't like her. Nope. The QAnon conspiracy started off based, and then it got infiltrated by a bunch of ops who added a bunch of crazy stuff to it to make it a laughingstock. So then if you say anything that sounds a little bit like QAnon, like if you say, stick to the plan or follow the plan, now all of a sudden you're a crazy QAnon guy. Even though Trump said that, that's not a QAnon quote. They're quoting Trump. People don't even know where these quotes that they say come from. If you say fake news, people are like, oh, you're just a Trumper. Hillary said fake news first. Crazy. Or like the birther thing. Trump didn't make up the birther. It's just the crazy QAnon Trump conspiracies about Obama being not birthed in America. Just Trump making up more conspiracy theories for his QAnon people. Hillary made that up. Hillary said that first. Glow agents. Yeah, the glowies infiltrated QAnon and they made it a laughingstock and they started adding a bunch of BS like, oh, everything's coded and Trump's going to be back. Just wait. January 20th is the day he comes back. Well, it doesn't happen. Actually, there's an allotment in the Constitution. It's actually February 15th. He's coming back. He did these codes. Look, each letter that's uppercased, it makes this code that says this. That's when it started getting retarded. And everybody who was slightly logical abandoned it because it's like, oh, this has been infiltrated now. This is dumb now. Not with that. But are there elites who sacrifice children for blood rituals to have eternal life? Yes. Yes, that is true. When they asked Trump about it, remember they asked Trump about it, and he's like, I don't know about this QAnon, but all I've heard is they said there's some powerful elites who are doing really bad things to children, and I think I'm interested. I'd like to look into that. so, yeah, it was based. JS, now that you're calling it out soon, your chat's going to be glowing. Oh, now that you're calling it out soon, your chat's going to be glowing. I've called it out for years. I've always said that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but you have to be skeptical of the skeptics because a lot of the conspiracy theories are BS that are put out as ops so that once you believe in them, it discredits everything else you say, like Flat Earth. Flat Earth is one of those. It's one of those ones that was made up by some dumbasses so that everybody who believes in it, now we can say, oh, that's the guy that you don't listen to anything he says. And the problem is because CIA started the conspiracy theory with the JFK stuff. Truth tellers who were digging and doing the research and paying attention started coming out saying, yo, there's a conspiracy here. We need to look into this. So to discredit these people, you make fake conspiracy theories that they fall for because once you get red pilled so much and you're like, damn, everything is a lie. Then when you hear something like the earth is flat and they've been lying to us, you're like, damn, that's the biggest conspiracy of all conspiracies. It's got to be true. And now everybody says, you're an idiot. Nothing you say is valid anymore. Even though you were on the right track, you're getting it all right. It's atmosphere, not Atmos flat. Atmos flat. This is true. Updates on the Tupac murder trial. 20 years later, Tupac Shakur murder, Keefe D. We've talked about this before. We're doing an update, keeping you updated on what's going on with the Tupac investigation. Tupac Shakur murder suspect files appeal with Nevada Supreme Court to dismiss charges. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis filed an appeal to have murder charges against him dropped. 62-year-old is accused of arranging the murder of Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas in 1996. He pled not guilty to the rapper's murder, but admitted in his tell-all memoir that he supplied the gun in the deadly shooting. That's still like an accessory to murder, right? You know, who paid this guy, though? Tupac murder suspect back in court today. We're not even going to watch this. Okay, I don't care about that. I got to go soon anyway. So, last story. This is why OnlyFans needs to be banned. This is weird. This is gross. This is Lil Tay. I don't know who she is. I've never heard of her before. I don't know if she's like a rapper or like a K-pop star or what. She's like a little Chinese girl. She Chinese. She play joke. She do OnlyFans in your coke. Cars on fire on I-75 North at the 203. So this girl started an OnlyFans at midnight on her 18th birthday in 2025. Now listen, this is the crazy part. The OnlyFans went live at midnight at 12:01 on her 18th birthday. She made $1 million in 3 hours. Now, the OnlyFans went live in 2025 on her 18th birthday. How long has OnlyFans been around? Because she said in a post, she said some of these men pre-ordered her OnlyFans in 2018, as far back as 2018, which would mean she was 11 years old saying, I'm going to start an OnlyFans when I'm 18. And people started pre-ordering her OnlyFans when she was 11. Also, her face looks kind of boyish. Like, I'm almost not even sure this is a chick, but she made 1.24 million, 1.02, 1.202, $1,024,000 in 3 hours. $1 million in 3 hours. We broke the F out of the OnlyFans record. Come to see the content I took of myself at 12:01 on my 18th birthday. Only available for 24 hours. But somewhere it says, thank you to the men who pre-ordered as far back as 2018. Y'all been doubting me for, this is a quote from her. Y'all been doubting me for 7 years. 7 years. So since she was 11. Since she was 11, she's been doing social media, music. Y'all been doubting me for 7 years. You can hate on me all you want. You can't say Lil Tay ain't winning. So for everybody out there, do whatever the hell you want with your life. Do as thou wilt. Who gives a fuck what people have to say? And remember this, Lil Tay rich and finna get richer. Oh yeah, and thank you to all my supporters who pre-ordered since 2018 or whenever you did. So the first pre-orders for her OnlyFans were in 2018 when she was 11. And then at midnight when she turned 18, they got the goods. And she made $1 million in 3 hours. This is crazy. It pisses me off because, well, it pisses me off that there's a bunch of PDF file degenerate dudes who would pay for this. But it pisses me off that some talentless 18-year-old girl who's supposed to be doing math and stuff, but she's not. She's doing porn instead. Sorry, that was mean. But she's doing porn. She's 18. She probably has no skills, no talents, nothing to give to the world, nothing to really offer to the world. Or maybe she does, and she's just not tapping into it because instead she can make $1 million in 3 hours by selling pictures of her butthole. And guys ordered this when she was 11. They should go to jail. If you're signing up for an 11-year-old's future OnlyFans That should be some sort of criminal charge. You're doing preemptive pedophilia. Pre-order dudes should be on a list. Yeah. That's crazy. It's just gross. This is not the first time this has happened either. The same thing happened with Woah Vicky, or with Bad Bunny with Danielle Bregoli, whichever one of the, I always get them mixed up. But they did an OnlyFans as soon as they turned 18, and I remember they made like $1 million in a day too. Don't let it. She's going to be going through a lot of suffering. Be glad you're not. I don't know if these people do suffer like that. I know we say that. We're like, oh yeah, they must be in a really dark place. That was what I watched Nala Ray and Charlie Kirk interview. And Nala's talking about, she's like, I struggled with drugs. I smoked a lot of pot. And I'm like, first off, that's not struggling with drugs, smoking a lot of pot. But anyway, she's like, all the girls in Korn struggle with drug addiction. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. But if you're making really, really good money, are you really struggling with the struggle with drug addiction? Is you become poor and you can't afford your habit, and then you're in pain every day because you have to get the fix, and you start robbing people and panhandling and doing whatever you can to make $10 so you can get your next fix. But if you're making money by having sex and you can afford your habit and you have a habit for sex and you're getting that, we say these people are in a dark place. I don't think they are. I think they're living their best life, and their best life happens to be degenerate. But like, they live for pleasure, and it's physical pleasure. Yeah, it's shallow. But these people, do they have souls? They're not like, man, I'm really missing God in my life. No. They're getting high and having sex all day in a mansion on the beach. And they're bankrolling off of it. This like, oh, but they're in a dark place, you know, pray for them. No, they're living their best life. They're loving life. That's what I think. They've been given over to a reprobate mind. There is no, maybe some of them, it's a dark place and they have regret and, you know, their heart yearns for God. Maybe some of them. I think the majority of them are just living. Now, they'll be in a dark place when they run out of money, when they hit the wall and they don't get jobs anymore. And then their addiction ends up, they spend all their money in 5 years and then they're on the street. Then they'll be in a dark place. But currently, this girl's flexing. She's loving life. She just made $1 million in 3 hours. I don't know. It's crazy. We got to ban OnlyFans. Whoever bought subscriptions to this they should be on a list. They should go to jail or something. That's crazy. Look at all the rich people. Some off themselves, others show it in different ways. Yeah, a lot of them overdose, though. The world is sick. Yeah, I think a lot of these degenerates, when you've been given over to a reprobate mind, I don't think they have regret. There's not like some moral intuition in them that tells them this is bad, and they feel bad for doing these things. I don't think that's the case. I think they have no conscience, no moral intuition. They're just reprobates. They're degenerates. They love their degeneracy. They love hell. But I don't know. Maybe you're right, Dean. Maybe some of them are deep down inside. She's struggling. She's going to have a rough time spending this $1 million. She's kind of cute, but her face is boyish. Like, her face looks like a boy. I don't even know if that's really a woman, baby. It might be a man, baby. So, especially she Asian. She might be one of them lady boys. I don't know. But that's all the news I got. Any breaking news? Let me see if there's any breaking news before I go. We looked at it earlier, but breaking news. With Democrats gone, a Texas gerrymander is stymied for now. Why were U.S. job numbers, which riled Trump, revised down by so much? Netanyahu vows to occupy Gaza as U.S. touts all or nothing hostage plan. Schwarzenegger ready to fight Newsom on redistricting. Wildfire smoke is like smoking half a pack a day. Trump vows to ramp up India tariffs and escalation of Russian spat. Yeah, Russia's doubling down. Trump's getting mad at Russia. I was supposed to end this in one day, Putin. You're making me look bad. I don't like it. Good show later. Was staring up at the other sky the other night. Woke asked me, how do stars die? I told her, overdose, typically. Who's Woke? You have a kid named Woke? Woke asked me. Wife, not woke. Ah, damn fat fingers. I was like, you're woke? I thought you had a kid named Woke. Did King name his child Woke? They floated too close to the sun. You know, people always say that who was that? That was not Phineas. That was Pericles. It starts with an I. Ischus. Who was that? With the shoes with the wings on them. Icarus. Kid Icarus. Is that Icarus? I think it's Icarus. Icarus. He didn't just fly too close to the sun and have his wings melt. They also said if you fly too low, your wings will get wet and you'll crash into the sea. If you fly too high, your wings will melt and you'll crash into the sea. So it's not just don't fly too high. You also can't fly too low. You got to fly just right. It's kind of like Goldilocks, similar to the Goldilocks story. Too much, too little, just right. Icarus couldn't fly too high. He couldn't fly too low. He had to fly in that middle range. Flight of Icarus. Great song from Iron Maiden. All right. Who is there to raid? Who's streaming that we can send a raid to? Abe Dinkus. Raging Tamato. Labnor. Radical Coder. He's on Raging Tomato. Where you guys want to go? Romnor, Abe Dinkus, Tomato, Coder. But a star is a sun. Word concept fallacy. More of the story, flying leads to falling in the sea. This is true. This is true. I think we'll go to Abe. Let's go to Abe. Hopefully he's still streaming. Icarus sucks at flight then. I seen an eagle get inches from the water. No fallacy tonight. All right. We'll go to Abe. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for the memberships. God bless you guys. Hopefully we'll be back in the morning. Feeling a little off today, but we got through it. So hopefully I'll be back in the morning and go put some chairs in Abe's chat, and I will catch you guys later. We out. God bless. Peace.